Hello, my little ninjas. My name's Mike. This is my YouTube page, Mox News, and welcome to your 420th episode of Mox Talks. I'm your host, Moxie. Can you guys hear? Okay, okay. So, can you see me? Everything? All right. So, where were we talking? We were talking about monkeypox. What is happening? Um, I, you know, I turn on the TV and it says, 52 children killed and 4 or 5 teachers. And, all I hear is this politics, politics, politics. And I just think, this isn't the moment where we solve all the problems. This is a moment where we have the heart touch feelings. This is the moment where, we show care. We're not like, these families are watching this news and they're like, oh my God. They're like, what's happening? Is this, are these my kids or do I know these people? And, these are my neighbors. And these things where it's just politics. Oh, this is what the Republicans do. They just inspire crazy people. Oh, this is what the Democrats do. They just let these violent people through at the border. Oh, this is what the Democrats do. They just take away guns from law-abiding citizens. We see this happen again and again. And I don't think it's because of lax gun laws. I think it's because of the FBI. And I don't think it's because of the right, and I don't think it's because of the left. Okay? They're both bullshit. And by that, I don't think it's because of this, and I don't think it's because of both of them. Okay? It's because they don't hold the FBI accountable. Because the FBI knows all these people. Oh, yeah, we interviewed that shooter. Oh, we had a file on this shooter. Oh, the Boston Marathon guys. Yeah, we picked them up and we had a long discussion with them about how to set a bomb in the middle of a fucking crowd of people. Is that what you talked about? Or, was it we're watching you and you better not fucking step out of line because we're going to fucking murder your brother if you do. And apparently that's what they're going to do. They're going to murder the brother. It's 100% the institution's fault. It's the Democrats and the Republicans' fault. Okay? It's not a matter, we need these laws, this will fix it. Anything is going to be like a Band-Aid. Okay? I just heard one of the commentators on this stupid news saying, if we just had a police officer at the front door and a police officer at the back door, then it would be more like a prison, right? That's what we need, is more like prisons. It'll get them comfortable for their future. No, what we need is for the fucking FBI to do their job. Oh, we had this person on a radar. Well, then, how is it that they're able to go out and do a mass shooting? How is it that they're able to go out and bomb the Boston Marathon? How is it they're able to go to Vegas and shoot a bunch of people from a hotel room with 50 fucking different automatic weapons? Seeing a pattern here? Because that pattern goes on and on. It just repeats over and over. Again, it's the Republicans and the Democrats' fault because they don't hold anybody accountable. Nobody in this government gets held accountable, except for maybe Donald Trump. They're trying real hard to hold him accountable. Fucking George Bush murdered 1 million innocent people based on lies fabricated directly in the White House. Murdered 1 million innocent people in your name with your money. And nobody cares about what he did. But Donald Trump, oh my God. I don't give a fuck about Donald Trump. I'm pointing out that there's no accountability. unless of course you're Donald Trump, then we gotta fuck him everywhere we can. Because they never mess with the presidents. The presidents do evil motherfucking shit. Okay? They bomb wedding parties. They bomb funerals. They bomb ambulances. They bomb fucking UN shelters that they tell women and little children to go to. They bomb hospitals. Okay? So, geez, where's all the violence coming from? I don't know. Hello, caller.
Hey, Max.
What's up, G?
Yeah, I saw the news, man. I saw the news earlier today. It's fucking depressing. Really fucking depressing, though. But that's what we signed up for, man.
Do you own a gun?
I don't, and to be sincere, though, to be completely frank, I really, really feel uncomfortable to be near one, though. But as I told you, though, I understand why we have a Second Amendment.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, things like this happen.
Tell us, okay, you understand why we have a Second Amendment. Explain to me why.
Yes.
Explain why to all of us.
So nobody can become a tyrant in your own country. So if the state becomes a tyrant, you have a fucking gun in your bed, ready to shoot that tyrant or so to leave you alone.
Well, let me make it a little more clear and a little less violent. The reason there is a Second Amendment is because without it, there wouldn't be any other amendments. The First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, all of them, there would not exist without the Second Amendment, okay? And as Manny said, this is the only thing that has kept our government in check. And, by the way, this government would like nothing more than to end the Second Amendment forever. And you'll say, oh, no, the Republicans aren't about that. Let me tell you, if this government, who's ever in charge, thought they could come to every home in America and say, turn over your guns, and people just, oh, yeah, here's my guns, gonna make the world safer, they would do it in a heartbeat. But they know that's what's going to happen. They're going to knock on the first door, and the first door is going to get slammed in their face. They're going to knock on the second door is going to get slammed in their face. They're going to knock on the third door, and a fucking shotgun blast is going to come through it. Okay? So, this is what keeps our rights in check. Go ahead.
Exactly. In Mexico, for example, just by the fact that you have a gun with you, if you get caught with a gun, any type of gun, even if it is a shotgun, you can go to jail for 10 years, and it's a federal crime. Just because you have a gun, that's it. It could be for justifiable reasons or not, and it's extremely hard to get a permit, and you have to have a permit from the Army or from the Defense Secretary to actually own a gun in Mexico. And it's extremely hard and extremely tight control. So if you get caught with a gun, you go to jail for 10 years. It's a federal crime.
Well, there should be penalties for, see, we have to have rules on the books about the guns because otherwise there's no way to restrain people like this. And there's very clear ways to restrain shooters like this.
Oh, yeah. Let me finish. So what happened? What were the consequences of all of that? Now you have gang members, you have the cartels running wild with army type, military type, Iraq war type of rifles around the cities. And the people cannot do anything about it. They're like completely defenseless. They're like a little puppies.
Standing up against the army.
Because they cannot do it. Not even the police have those type of weapons more. Think about that. Think about that. So this is why we have like the cartel violence is so violent, man, because how can you compete against the cartels with those type of weapons? Which, by the way, let's face it, the majority of those weapons come from the U.S. They don't come from Europe or China or Russia. They come from the U.S. So it is a little bit of our fault when it comes to that as well. So we have to take the fault with that.
Well,
But yeah,
that's
I mean, it's
no.
not.
That's just again, someone not doing their job. I don't think that's the fault of the U.S. people. You said we have to take blame for that. That's somebody not doing their job, Manny. Whether it's the Border Patrol, whether it's the Department of Homeland Security, whether it's the FBI, somebody's dropping the ball there, and it's not our fault that they're a bunch of screw-ups.
Okay.
And I want to say that what Manny is saying is that you take away people's guns, and the next thing you know, the only people who have guns are the criminals. And if the only way to stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun, you're all fucked if you're waiting on the cops.
Yeah.
You
Oh
know?
yeah, and the cops are very corrupt, and sometimes they're on the payroll of the cartel.
And
So it's
yeah, right.
it's a rigged game, man. It's extremely rigged. There's no way for you to win in this one. And this is one of the reasons why you see a lot of immigration over here.
Mm-hmm.
Because people are fed up and like, I don't want to live in this place anymore. So they immigrate illegally to the U.S. But that's one of many, many reasons why people move. But that's another topic to discuss in another time. But yeah, so as I mentioned, I understand why there's a Second Amendment, and that is what I signed up for when I actually took the oath of citizenship of this country. Now, it really, really, really fucking sucks that a bunch of 8-year-olds died today
What now?
because some 18-year-old. It really, really sucks that a bunch of 8-year-olds died today because some deranged 18-year-old killed them for whatever the fucking reason, man.
Yeah.
It's not fair. I don't want anyone to happen. I don't want that to happen to my family members or anyone that I know around that age. I don't want parents to suffer, and my condolences to the parents. But I don't think removing the Second Amendment or, I don't know, restricting guns is the answer. In fact, we should be the other way around, man.
Well, you just made a good case for exactly the opposite. Restricting the guns is not the answer, and anyone who thinks that somehow gun laws apply to criminals are just plain stupid.
Now, let me ask you something. Isn't Texas a constitutional carry?
What about Kerry?
Isn't that Texas a constitutional carry state?
Oh, I'm not honestly sure about Texas. I know this state is an open carry state, if that's what you're asking about. If you can just walk around with it.
Yeah, but isn't that like constitutional carry? Like you can just go to a gun shop, just buy it, like you go to a Walmart and that's it. You don't even have to have a license for that.
I don't know what's going on in Texas, honestly.
But yeah, that's. I mean, it really, really fucking sucks, man. But I mean, I will not change the law. And I'm sorry. People will really beat the crap out of me for saying this, but I will say let's do the other way around, man. Like make the guns last more loosely, though. And when it comes to finding the reason why he did it, though, we need better mental health, though.
Right, he did it because he's fucking crazy, Manny. That's why he did it. Okay, all these people are like, oh, he had this manifesto. He's fucking insane. It doesn't matter what the manifesto says. He's fucking crazy, and you can't fucking try and like fix things by looking at it from a crazy perspective. It doesn't matter what he said. What matters is the FBI dropping the ball again because this guy slipped through the cracks and was able to get a gun.
Yeah. The same thing will happen with the Buffalo shooting, though. I read part of the manifesto, though, and quite frankly, though, I mean, a lot of the things that he says, though, is, first of all, it's very flawed, though. Anybody who doesn't have a good sense of critical thinking, it's going to fall for those type of things, man. And I got into the conclusion that it's not the content of the manifesto, but it's whether or not the manifesto is persuasive enough to convince a person to do those kind of acts.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the content itself. It's just whether or not you are persuasive enough when you're writing those kind of manifestos to convince the people to do things that awful.
I think that when you're this kind of crazy, that you find something, a reason to do crazy things, and it's easy to look towards the government and be like, oh, You know, I don't know. You look towards the media. The media alone will drive people insane. I told you guys again and again, it's bad for you. So stay away from it if you can.
You know what I think is going on, Max? And call me crazy, call me a conspiracy theorist, or me wearing a tinfoil hat. But I think either the Democrats love this because they're going to take advantage so much about this because they know they're fast for the elections, though. And this is going to help them so much in the elections to maintain the status quo. Or I don't want to make accusations, and this is just me connecting dots where dots are not supposed to be connected. Maybe someone somewhere made a false flag attack, but that's just me connecting dots where dots are not supposed to be.
Yeah, it's days like this where I really miss Alex Jones, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of messed up about the crisis actor theory that Alex Jones espoused 10 years ago, which really created a lot of damage and a lot of trauma to the parents of that school's
Sandy Hook?
Sandy Hook, yes. The Sandy Hook victims, or the parents of the Sandy Hook victims.
Well...
But it makes you think, though. It definitely makes you think.
Right, Alex Jones. Look, Alex Jones is asking questions, okay, and that's what you're supposed to do when there's questions that haven't been answered.
Yeah, I just don't think harassing parents because of that crazy theory about crisis actor is the right thing to do.
There's fucking crisis. Look, you can go and hire crisis actors, Manny. You understand they do exist, right?
Well, I mean, I know that, for example, some people hire other people to protest, and I've seen that happen in Canada.
The CIA does that around the world, dude. Half of the protests you see are CIA instigated in other countries.
I saw an article, and this is a Canadian article, that apparently a talent agency hired some actors to protest in favor of the Huawei executive that was arrested in Vancouver years ago. Remember that window?
Yeah.
So how Huawei executive was arrested in Vancouver, and then some people were protesting in her favor. And when they were talking with the protesters, they have no idea what they were talking about. And then after they talked with some of them off camera, said, "Oh no, we just spent by a talent agency."
Right. Well, we're not talking about protest though. Okay, we're talking about crisis actors. There are such a thing as crisis actors. I'm pretty sure that the government has like a whole select group of them, but you can hire crisis actors. You know, if you want to go and demonstrate a crisis somewhere, you can go and get them. And this is what they do. They're professionals. They lay down. They got bodies that look real. They got blood that looks real. They got everything. And they're very good at what they do. And I'm pretty sure the government has ones, specifically large crisis actors contracts with groups of people that are ready to go in and do whatever the government asks. So, crisis actors is a real thing.
I mean, crisis actors it's a little bit overreaching for me though. Until I see that evidence. Other than that, I mean, I'm sorry for the families though, and I really feel bad for them, and I want to hug them though. But I mean, from this to jump into more gun control and revoke the Second Amendment,
right?
I'm sorry, that's something I'm not going to sign up for. I am not going to sign up for that.
Yeah, well, it's really unfortunate how many people do, right, Manny?
Yeah, it is unfortunate, man, and quite frankly though, this is going to keep happening. You saw it with the Buffalo shooting, you saw it with the Sandy Hook, you saw it with the Parkland, you saw it with what happened in Texas earlier today, though. This is going to keep going, happening and happening and happening. And unfortunately, that's the side effect of the negative side effect of having a Second Amendment. Yeah. But I also understand the benefits of having it. And quite frankly, the benefit outweighs the consequences. And I'd rather have the Second Amendment than just taken away.
Right. I agree, Manny. Well, you know, the way I feel about it is just, it's like you said, you know, if you take away guns, then the only people that will have guns are the bad people. And then we have very little chance of coming back from that.
Exactly. All right, Max. Just want to say hi from
Yeah.
the east side.
All right, Manny. It's always good to hear from you. Thanks for all the input.
No worries. Have a good day.
Okay, talk to you soon, I hope. And that's
Bye.
our buddy Manny from the east side. And the telephone number is up there on the screen if anybody wants to call. 206 669 6397. 206 669 6397. 206 805 20 whatever the fuck it is. You can see it up there. My tea is not hot. You know how I get all cranky when my tea is not hot. I am here to talk about, I really am not here to talk about the Second Amendment. Again, the Second Amendment is there for, look, again, like Manny was saying, they took away all the guns from people in Mexico. And now the people who have guns are the cartels. And the cartels have guns that the police can't even get. And the cartels are running around fucking kidnapping people, murdering people, doing anything they want. Okay? And that doesn't happen here. I mean, there's crime, there's a little crime here and there. But it's because, if we took away all the guns, do you think that there would be less crime? But that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about, the MSM trolls. The mainstream media, they begin to push this agenda and that agenda immediately while we're still finding out how many children were murdered. Every hour it goes up a kid. So we're still finding out, and they're like, oh, we gotta do this, this is because of the Republicans, this is because of the Democrats. It's all bullshit, okay? What matters is that, here's what's going on the ground. These are the people who children go to school here. These are some children who got out of the thing. These are the FBI. This is the situation on the ground. Not all this political spewing bullshit. Okay, it's not right. There's people terrified, and I think that's what it is. I talk again and again and again about, what they want more than anything else is for you to be afraid. And the reason that they want people afraid, okay, I've explained this so many times, the reason that they want people afraid is because people that are afraid turn to strong leaders, right? They're afraid. They don't know what to do. Here's this guy. He's got a plan, right? And it's like, oh my God, the Second Amendment is so evil. Again, I'm going back to bullshit. But the point is that when people are at their peak fear, they're doing this, they're programming them because they're open, like, oh my God, what happened here? And like, you need to know everything. And they're like, oh, this politics. It's pure evil. It's pure evil. And I have another video about women and children starving in Afghanistan, and we'll get to that. It's about your tax dollars hard at work. And then I have a video about monkeypox. It's an interview with the scientists who created the mRNA vaccine, which, by the way, he says is all about New World Order government. And what else? And he talks about the monkeypox and how conveniently that's being timed right now. So we'll get to that in a minute. I have to go heat up my tea. We need to have a bong hit. The real reason that I came out here today was I want to take a bong hit with you. And you know what? I think I'm just going to do that now, and then I'll go heat up the tea, and then we'll think about whether or not we need to do another bong hit, because I don't want to wait another fucking second to do a bong hit. So, if you'd like to join me, now's your chance. Actually, hopefully we'll have many more chances this show. We probably won't have that many, but we'll have a couple more, I hope. So, let's do that now, shall we, my little ninjas? let's all warm up our pipes and take a nice fat puff. Um, and obviously, these people who are shooting these guns at other people, they're not eating enough cannabis, obviously. Duh. How easy is that to fix? Hello, caller.
Yo,
What's up, G?
it's your boy. I'm here to take a hit in solidarity with my homie. What's up?
I am just doing that thing that I do. You doing okay? Enjoying your week off?
In your honor, Michael, I'm going to take a big, fat dab. There you go, buddy.
Nice.
This for you, homie. Sorry, you pig.
Kemp.
That's for you, homie. I wanted to add a little bit. I don't want to talk much because, you know, I don't like talking much. But I do want to say a little bitty bit about what you were saying about leadership, man. That shit's so important. You can't let anyone lead you. You always gotta be proactive. Never be reactive. You gotta be proactive and lead your own fucking life, man. Don't let anyone lead you. You know what I mean? You're so right about that, man. God bless. Too many people sit back and, you know, try to let other people tell them what to do, and it's just those are always the worst people, man. You know what I'm saying?
Well, look, I think that a lot of people, I think a lot of it's programming when they tell them what to do, you know, when they've been told what to do and they follow those orders, you know. It's just that I think that's kind of what homework is all about, you know, in school. It's like you go home and you do this. Oh, yes, sir. I think that, you know, half of what we do with children is train them to jump through hoops. So, you know, how much of it is train them to be themselves, you know?
Yeah, indoctrination, man. It's, you know, you gotta figure out what you want to do at a young age and just pursue it and not go through the whole indoctrination bullshit.
Well, you have to understand it's going to take a minute for you to know who you are. And you need to think about that as opposed to people telling you who you are. Because what happens is from the time you're little, people tell you who you are. And it's so frustrating, you know. What's that?
No, I agree. I'm just saying. I agree. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So
education, modern education is it's completely, it's ridiculous. I mean, yeah, it's good to know how to spell and shit, but yeah, there's a lot of it teaches. It doesn't teach you how to think, you know, outside of the box and think proactively. It teaches you how to follow. Simple instructions.
Teaches you how to be part of the hive brain.
Right.
Yeah. So, and I guess that there's a need for that somehow. But I think that...
Well, that's why it's so important to, like, you know, at a very young age, you know, do something, like, be proactive, start your own thing.
Eat a lot of cannabis.
Try to eat a lot of cannabis. But I'm just saying, whatever you want to do, you know.
Don't let people stand in your way.
100%.
Yeah, whatever it is that you want to do, don't let someone look at you. Don't let someone look at you and somehow act like you're not capable of doing that. Because the truth is you're capable of doing what you want. There's nothing you can do that can't be done. There's nothing you can sing that can't be sung. You know, it's up to you what it is that's inside of you. that can be sung and can be done. And I think you're very special and that you should figure that out because nobody's going to be able to do it like you. Go ahead.
Yeah, the education system. I mean, God, I wasted so much time there. It was worthless. Yeah, it really was. Everything that I've done in my life that was valuable to my career, I actually did like by experience. You know, the education system didn't help me at all.
But it looks good on a
What
resume.
really is helpful is getting out there and actually doing what you want to fucking do. You know.
I think
Bullshit.
Mark Twain quit school in the 4th grade or something. You know, because it's like you're saying, it's this waste of time. He wanted to write, he wanted to experience the world, and this is just like a jail for children. You know.
It's true. You know, if you're really passionate about what you want to do, you'll do it and you'll be successful at it. That's and I think America is a good platform for that, even though it's a fucking corrupt, frustrating, place to live. But whatever. All right, I'm done talking. Like I gotta leave.
All right,
I'm
bro.
gonna take another dab in our of you, Michael, because I love you so much. I do love you. I'll simp from Michael. I'll simp from Michael all day long. You fucking cocksuckers. You can all suck my dick. And here's a fucking hit from Michael. And all you fucking haters out there, fucking suck my pecker.
What are you smoking, Pete? You didn't tell us what you're smoking. What am I looking for here?
It's a little it's a cookie dog, and it does actually taste like cookies. A little chocolate.
That's pretty cool, man.
Nice.
Sounds awesome.
It's nice. It's Massachusetts, man. That's how we roll out here. We're very, very hot all the fucking time. That's how we fucking roll.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear it.
All right, dog. I gotta roll. I love you, Michael. Peace out.
All right, it's always good to hear from you.
And Tulsi's fucking lame, by the way.
Tulsi.
I like to sign up with the Tulsi thing, but you know what? You were bringing up Tulsi earlier. You know what? She can fucking suck my ball back.
That would be.
Enough of Tulsi.
That would be nice.
She's going nowhere. By the way, I think you're right. I think she's lost her whole platform. She sold out to Joe Biden. She's lost it.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what's happening. You're right.
I think the Democrats will get behind her big time, but I think most of us see what she is.
When did she sell out to Joe Biden exactly?
You know, Michael. Come on, I'm preaching to the choir here. I mean, way back when she endorsed Joe Biden.
Oh,
way back when she lost to.
Well, the Democrats are currently referring to her as traitorous and saying that she needs to be somehow penalized. So
Yeah, well, who knows? You know what? I bet you fucking a couple of months from now she'll be like the big Democratic candidate, and everyone will be fucking backing her.
Well, she may be a candidate, but the Democrats, the political, workshop that's in place, they will fight her every step of the way. They have zero interest in her having any power whatsoever. So.
Okay, I'm kind of surprised by that. Well, I think Tulsi kind of goes both ways. I think she kind of plays with the political people, she plays with the establishment, and then she plays with the people as well. I think she's kind of manipulative in that way. I think we'll see that from her in the future.
I think that she's the best candidate in the field right now. That includes the Republicans, so that's what I think. But it's a long way from the field.
So? You were talking so much shit about her.
I don't think so.
Not too long. Yes, you were, Michael. You were talking so much. When she endorsed Joe Biden, it was not too long ago. She endorsed Joe Biden, and you were so mad. You got all mad, all up in a tizzy. It's all documented. You can go back.
I was the same way when Dennis.
Hey, you said we will never endorse Tulsi again.
What?
Fuck her.
I
Done
didn't
with her.
say
Yes,
anything
you said
like
it.
that.
Michael,
I
go
did
back
not.
and check the tape.
I didn't do
The
that.
tape. You said it. I swear to God, I'm a fan. You said it.
I know you're a fan.
You said it. Okay, well, okay. So now you're turning a new leaf and saying that maybe we should trust Tulsi again. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying that out of all the voices in the field, she's the one that only, and that includes the Republicans, she's the only one that sounds like anything I would ever vote for. That's what I'm saying. Not that you should trust her. If she's going to be a politician, we can't trust any of them.
That is true. She speaks the best game. Yes, she speaks the best game.
You know, I'm just I think she's smart, and I think that she really loves people. I think she has a lot of love. So, but I could be wrong. I'm easily suckered in by that sort of thing. Pretty faces get me every time.
You sound like two different people right now. I can't even believe you're saying this right now. I'm surprised. I thought you were going to be like fuck Tulsi.
I look at, again, if you show me a better candidate, you know, if I could vote for Vermin Supreme, I would do that in a heartbeat. You know Vermin Supreme, right? You don't know Vermin Supreme?
No, but I don't know who that is.
Well, Vermin Supreme, I can guarantee you, Vermin Supreme is someone who you will fucking love. So you should find out who Vermin Supreme is. Just you.
Vermin. Okay. I'm writing this down on a post-it note. Vermin Supreme. But yeah, I don't know. Who knows? Yeah, you know what? We probably. You're right about Tulsi. We will be seeing more of her in the future.
I sure hope so.
And,
I think
I don't know.
I think if it's up to the Democratic establishment,
Michael,
that they
who
won't
the
let it
fuck
happen.
Are you working for? You working
Tsunami.
for the Democratic Party? You working for Russia? Who the fuck you working for, dog? You really exporting?
I am working for Satan. Duh.
All right, dog. I gotta go.
Good to hear from you. I hope you're enjoying your week off.
I gotta smoke my big fat fucking dab right now.
Ooh.
Have a nice evening.
Lucky. Nice to hear from you.
Peace and love, Michael. Have a nice night.
You too.
Praise Allah.
Allah be praised. And to whoever the fuck else, I don't give a shit. Really and truly. So let's see, where were we? We were talking about, oh, right, another caller.
Mom,
What's up, G?
how you doing?
I'm fine.
Yeah, okay.
I started my garden. I've been doing a lot of gardening the last couple days, so I like that.
Oh, I've been working on my, doing some landscaping in front of my house, and it fucking sucks.
I honestly, to be really and truly, I don't really like gardening, but I'm figuring that out the more and more I garden. But I really and truly want to grow a beautiful flower, dude. I really want to make that happen, even if I don't like gardening.
Yeah, there's been a couple times where I've got the green thumb itch before, just to try it out, and I failed at it, so I said, fuck it.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's that difficult, but I'm talking about, I don't even care how big a plant it is. It can be like a 2-foot tall plant. I just want to grow like a really, really, sparkly colors, beautiful fucking flower. That's what I want. Then
Okay.
That'll make me feel like I accomplished something.
Yeah, we doing our front lawn and we making some stuff and we got to plant stuff and we just it's still a work in progress. Anyway. That damn it, we working on it. But hey,
you can do it.
I heard, yeah, I know, dude, it sucks. But talking about like the whole Toasty thing and Monk's, like you said, I think you're a sucker for keep faces, man.
Oh
and
yeah.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you one reason why I say that is because she was, an Army officer. I think she's a lieutenant colonel, or she's already retired. Okay?
Yeah.
And Army officers are very aggressive people, and for some reason, I feel when she was running for president, as a soldier in the Hawaiian National Guard, I felt that was inappropriate. But anyway, but for some reason, she thought she was bigger than the pecking order, if you know what I mean, Mom.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the military, it's called an order of merit list. Like who's next, whatever. Yeah, but you can have your anomalies come out of left field. You've seen it with Donald Trump. But we also knew the climate of the nation. Everybody was mad about, the elites and all this. It's funny that everyone was pissed off that we bailed all the rich people out. That's what we did. And then they got all their bonus money, right? And then the next guy comes in and gives all those people that we gave all that money to a tax break. So everything's fucked up. But I don't believe that Tulsi Gabbard is. I think she thought she should have been more of a leading candidate in the past two, elections, and then you had Hillary called her out and like she's a Russian agent. All of a sudden, you just see this turn to where everything that she says is totally different than what she said to begin with. So it's like, okay, really what's going on? Like certain people will say the same shit every day forever, and she's like a flip-flopper. And then when she does her little speech on the media, like when she's interviewed by Fox or whoever, she's sitting there just with this calm voice trying to say whatever. It's like she's trying to replace Nikki Haley.
Look, I don't think so. Nikki Haley doesn't have the balls to go into a theater of war, and
Nikki Haley is her parents were born in India.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know that.
Okay. And Tulsi Gabbard. Look at when fucking John McCain is delivering pallets of money to fucking ISIS in fucking Syria. Okay, Tulsi, they said that they wanted some kind of a fucking war thing on Syria, and Tulsi Gabbard said, I need to go and look at what's happening there. Okay, and she asked every member of Congress to go with her to Syria, and they all told her no. They said, and they told her not to go. And Dennis Kucinich, who had been retired at that time, stepped up to join her to go to fucking Syria so she could understand what was happening. Okay? And she came back and she said it's all bullshit. There's this people who sit in their fucking comfy offices and talk about how they know what's happening and you need to listen to them. And then there's people who really, go to find out what's happening, And she's not like the other people. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I think she fooled you because she's an Army medical officer. Okay, she has a top secret clearance. She gets all the good briefs. She knows exactly what's going on. She went to Syria to increase her political pull to say, hey, let's kind of stop the wars. Typically what good Democrats do, right? Okay, so she was just playing everybody like, I'm gonna be the good Democrat. I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna talk to this leader of Syria, but this is
who everybody
This is what
in the
they-
world was saying is evil. I'm going to go talk to this person
Yeah.
that's evil and give him a platform, and everybody's going to think I'm a hero. Is that right, Brandon? Is that what you're telling me?
I would say that he went over there to get a climate, like a temperature, and it backfired on him. And this is what's crazy to me is, how is it that these countries that are nowhere near as powerful or as big as us are so fucking scared of? I've been to those countries, Mark. They don't have fucking running water. Why the fuck would I ever be scared of them? But the mainstream media and whatever other forms of media sit here and spew it like X, Y, and Z. You know, but she tried, but she got sniffed out on something. I think that's why Hillary made that comment about her. And then after that, I kind of, seen a change in what she was talking about. But I mean, again, I think I told you earlier, for someone from Hawaii that is a sitting member of Hawaii, to even get recognition in America, to get their vote, and then, first off, she's a woman. She's not going to get no men votes anyway.
No, no. A lot of men are a sucker for a pretty face.
Yeah, but listen, that don't mean that they want to have that woman speak for them for the next 4 years.
Well, a lot of people look at her and see a military person with a kind of an exemplary career, and so she, she looks like a very upstanding citizen. She looks like she went into she volunteered to go into Iraq, okay, twice. So
yeah, so did everybody join the military volunteer to go into Iraq. And
I don't think that's quite true, but a lot of people.
You get orders. It's a volunteer army.
Right. Okay. No, I understand what you're saying about volunteer army. I get that.
So it's not like motherfucker raise their hand and say, "Hey, I got my bag packed. Let me go to Baghdad." No, that was her job. That's what she got paid to do, and she did it exceptionally well. I'm just trying to figure out why this big change in her, because I knew that her father was very religious, and she's been called up before with the whole anti-gay shit when she was younger, and it came to bite her in the ass on the on the Democratic side.
A lot of us said stupid anti-gay shit when we were younger.
I know, but that's what kind of like backfired on her. Listen, I think she was doing something great or trying to figure it out. But when you do something like that, you have a whole industrial complex that want to sell fear and beans and bullets to the battlefield and fear to the American people that we're going to get fucking rocketed by Syria.
Everyone.
They ain't got running water. Yeah.
And
it's just those lies, man. Like I'm still trying to figure her out, but how she's behaving now, it just shows you that she'll do whatever. It's not like she's going to stand on her shield for one principle. She has no principle. She's all over the place. Okay? She doesn't really have one fucking principle. She's all over the place. And that's my only problem with her. Like, she's not consistent anymore. No, baby. He's in the bedroom. That's my daughter. Asking about teddy bear. Anyway.
Lucky.
But yeah, I know. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I think she had good potential, but you're not going to come and be a National Guard soldier, right? Run for president, sending senators who have been there, or White House officials like Hillary Clinton was, or whatever. You see what I'm saying? She just came in thinking that, well, I should be next, and whoever blew her up, I think she destroyed her political career. I think she was going to be a good asset, maybe 10, 15 years down the road. You know, but you're not going to come from Hawaiian woman and think you're going to get votes rural or in the black neighborhoods in the city or in the rural areas or in the Jewish community. No, I'm just naming all these different communities to where, you know, they don't even fucking know you. You live in Hawaii. Who the fuck gets the chance
You
to go to
sound
Hawaii?
fucking
Very
racist,
few
dude.
people.
You sound fucking racist. A Hawaiian.
No, come on.
Oh, you know how
Yeah.
those island people are. They don't even wear clothes. They don't even wear shoes. Oh my God, they're not fucking civilized. They don't know voting.
Barack got elected because he came from a major city. He was from Hawaii. Everybody knew it, but he come from the city. And since she's coming from an island in the Pacific Ocean trying to get people in Virginia to vote for her, they don't even know her. They don't even know nothing about, you know, Hawaii. Man, so I'm being honest.
I
know,
hear
and-
every word you're saying. It just
Yeah, I'm just calling it. Listen, it is what it is, man. Like no one knows anything about Hawaii. You know, people from Indiana.
Have
really?
you never
No,
been
they
to
don't know
Hawaii?
about
Have you
Hawaii.
never been to Hawaii?
No, I've never been to Hawaii.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's pretty much the same as here. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I
the
get it,
United
Mark.
States.
But Mark, I get it, but certain people, you know, they kind of stereotype stuff. They think everybody in the South is slow, you know, or everybody up here is this and this and that, and no one knows shit about Hawaii. And that's what, again, if she would have laid low and not really attacked like some of the people, she would probably have a job in the White House right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But she blew her.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what I'm getting at is she just had to go on policy, but she didn't. She went and publicly attacked people. She attacked Hillary. She attacked Harris. She attacked everybody. And that just tells you, well, that's not a good friend to work with. You know.
It
so
also
that's the
tells you
reason
that
why
she's way more honest than the rest of them.
No. To be honest, I don't see that really. Whenever you're attacking somebody, attack somebody over something they are totally responsible for and what they did. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, or either, but just talk about policy. That's the problem with politics. I have to say something bad about you to make people not vote for you. Therefore, when I get elected in office, I'm not going to do nothing for the people that voted for me because they elected me just to run my mouth and you know and be disrespectful and rude. So is this because if we keep voting this way, won't shit get done in this country when it comes to paperwork?
Kamala Harris called Joe Biden a racist. Flat out.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
Okay? So, right, so the same rules
Yeah.
don't apply to her. Tulsi Gabbard said bad things about Hillary Clinton. Fucking
Well,
Kamala Harris
I would
called
say-
Joe Biden flat out a racist.
Yeah, about the busting thing.
And
yeah.
she gets to be
And
vice president.
I would say this: she dropped out extremely quick, didn't she?
She couldn't
Because
get
they put her
1%
really out.
of the black vote.
Yes. But look though, but they need, it's what I think. I think that someone said we need her as vice president with Biden because Biden has that relationship with the black community. So let's bring in this black lady. That's what happened. You know, but to be honest, that's not what got Joe Biden elected. I think what got Joe Biden elected was people that didn't want Trump in office no more. And you kind of seen that when people voted for a Democratic president, but the rest of the ticket was all Republican. You've seen that doing every damn state. Trump just got fired. You know, so I mean, it wasn't like people was electing Joe Biden and Harris. They was firing Donald Trump and Mike Pence.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot.
That's what happened. Yeah, I mean, that's the only way it makes sense. If you
That's
look at
exactly
Georgia,
right. That's the only way
Yeah.
it makes sense because Joe Biden and Kamala Harris had zero support from the American people. So they made this really shitty choice just to get rid of Donald Trump. So, and here's the results of that.
Well, just look at it this way. You're not waking up in the morning to a tweet. By the time you drive in the
I have never in my life woken up in the morning to a tweet, just so we're clear.
What I'm saying is to the climate that Trump was doing. So hell, by the time you get off work, there's 7 fucking tweets that are stressing people out, getting people riled up, or whatever. By the time you go home, it's 7 more fucking tweets and go to bed. You know, Trump was just too exhausting. Okay? You see, I mean, look, he was so exhausting, it had people, anyway, because you disagree with Jan 6. But I'm just telling you, that's why he lost, is he was just too exhausting. And people said, nope, that's not what I thought you was going to do. So, therefore, people voted him in and people voted him out because he didn't do what he said he was going to do. And it has nothing to do with a fucking wall. It was just his behavior, Mark. That was it. And it seems a lot of other candidates are trying his behavior to be rude and run their mouths. Just talk about your policy. That's it. Mark,
Yeah.
talk about policy. You ain't got to sit up there and talk bad about somebody and say, well, let's, get your guns and do this and threaten people or whatever and call people racist. You ain't got to do all that. Just say, hey, we have a problem, so let's create a policy and just put it on one bill. One bill. Let's say, okay, this is the deal. We're going to put a bill together that's just going to talk about fixing roads. Put a bill together just for fixing roads. And then put a bill together fixing bridges. But they can't do that because everybody wants something out the fucking deal. That's why the bills get so big and get, inflated.
Yeah. Look, I don't like any of these people. Trump, Biden, Obama, Bush, they're all pretty much the same to me. Trump seemed to be a little different than the rest of those, but
I was so optimistic about him, Mark. I was.
Yeah, I don't, all I know is that it wasn't fucked up the way it was with Obama, who's like, everything was fucking war with Obama and terrorist attack. I don't remember terrorist attack under Trump. I have this fucking horrible, like, looming fucking fear that, not really a fear, I don't really experience that, but, there's the back thought of my head that won't go away that there's about to be a giant attack on U.S. soil. And who does that really benefit? You remember what happened when George Bush was president, right? He had like the lowest approval ratings of any president in the last 100 years or something. And then boom, September 11th happened and George W. Bush has 91% approval rating. He didn't even do a fucking thing. He just allowed the worst terrorist attack on our shores to happen because who's ever in charge, it's your fucking fault. The buck stops somewhere. So he just allowed the biggest terrorist attack on U.S. shores ever, and his approval rating goes through the roof, right? So
and plus he took away more privacy rights than any other president ever, and he was a conservative.
Yeah, and when they did the RNC, the Republican National Convention for 2004, and it was John Kerry for the Democrats and George W. Bush for the Republicans, they had chain link fence areas, and if you wanted to go and protest, you had to go into what they called the free speech zone. And then you could protest in the free speech zone. But if you were on the street with your big old sign that said 9/11 truth, you were getting arrested. And that's not the America. That's not the America that That's not what we're supposed to be.
But you know what? No, you know what's funny though, Mark? Is people keep still voting for it. So
I know, right?
So now, what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, there's going to be people in fractions of planet Earth that do not like the way American life, or America might have did something in a war to their family and their ancestors or whatever, hundreds of years ago to 30 years ago to 10 years ago, whatever. I understand that, right? And I can understand people being jealous. That shit's never going to stop, But you constantly see the same philosophy keep getting elected, right? I mean, listen, we all know we got a gun problem, but we ain't trying to fix it, right?
You don't fix it by taking away law-abiding citizens' guns,
that's
or reducing the
that's not what I'm
size of
saying.
law-abiding citizens' magazines.
Well, no, I don't know, but look, how good until that person is not law-abiding.
I don't
Mom,
think.
we just had a
Yeah.
we just had a man here. His wife was in the hospital and she was in her 90s and he was like 93. She was like 92 or something. He shot her, then killed himself right there in the hospital bed.
Well, that's kind of romantic, dude.
Well, I get it, but it's whenever something doesn't go your way, you go get a gun. That's
You know
the
what?
nature
If you
of the
make it,
country,
if you make
and
it,
that-
if you make it to 95 years old with this woman that you love next to you, I wouldn't say exactly things didn't go your way.
Well, what I'm getting at is that's the answer to everything in this country is to get a gun. I'm a gun owner, shit. But it's like is that going to solve every fucking question? A gun?
It
And
doesn't
every
solve
answer?
any question. It doesn't solve any question.
Yeah.
It solves problems,
Every-
okay? If someone's doing something with a gun, how else are you going to stop that person?
Well, I'm not knocking that. I'm talking about more of how we are as a people when it comes to, well, let me just go do this, and I'll get this to go do it with. Regardless, you have people killing their wives, man, for no reason.
Hey, how do you know it's for no reason?
Dude,
And if you're talking about these 90-year-old people, they might have had this love path that they were going to go out together one way or another. And once you get into that position, it becomes very difficult to have a lot of options. They're not gonna poison her and poison you at the same time.
Yeah. Well, I understand when you talk about like X, Y, and Z. That little Romeo Juliet situation.
Yeah.
But that just happened like last weekend in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, what the fuck? But like all of the time, like we just had a road rage incident where they fired into a vehicle for no, whatever. And luckily nobody was killed, but they arrested the people that fired, and it's just, is that where we are? To where we want to solve our problems with just the twitch of a finger?
Well,
Can we just not,
Go ahead.
I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. I ain't talking about defense and fun and all that other bullshit you do with guns. I'm just talking about, like, are we to the point now to where we just can't hear bad news? Get told no or get turned down and we got to go kill everybody?
It's all bad news, so that's bound to make people crazy. But they were already crazy. There's so many things. There's shit in the water. There's so much fucking shit, dude. I've talked about this, like, by the time a kid is like 10 years old, they've witnessed 17,000 deaths, in movies and fucking video games and such.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, that makes sense.
there's this
But so does every other country that plays video games and watch movies too. So it's their kids don't do what our kids do, and I just think it's more access to the things to do what you want to do with it. Like this kid in Texas, he bought 2 guns the same day on his 18th birthday.
Well, okay, in London, okay, half of the people are carrying screwdrivers, dude, and they'll fucking stab you with that shit as fast as any fucking knife.
But listen, but look, dude. Why are we? This makes sense. Why should a civilization as advanced as the human race feel they got to walk around with a screwdriver in their pocket, or a rock, a brick in their purse, or whatever? It just tells you a lot about our species, and that's what we got to figure out. Like we're going. I mean, it's like the caveman days again, man.
Well, you have family, I mean, you didn't get your wife a gun because it's a lovely accessory for her fucking outfit.
No, exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. But again, it's so weird that as advanced as we are, this is like what we do every fucking day, man. Every day, this is what we do.
Right, and I say the exact same thing about war, Brandon.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, and I understand your position on war. Mom, when I crossed the burn from Iraq, from Kuwait to Iraq, I seen kids outside in the middle of the fucking desert, man, with no shoes on.
Yeah.
Begging for food.
Yeah.
And they look like my kids.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, it's but the parents would be way off because the parents didn't want to get shot and be a threat to the convoy. So the kids would run up and they would ask for George Washington.
Yeah.
And for money. And they would give us a wad of Iraqi money because their money wasn't worth shit at that point.
Yeah.
And we'd give them MREs and water and 2 roads. Sometimes we'd run over the kids.
Yeah.
We had, it's fucked up shit, right? But yeah, man, but we got problems, and and it's getting even worse, like with the political climate, man. Like it's getting so worse.
It seems like it's getting a lot worse. The thing about it is, to me, is that when it gets this agitated, the only way to bring it down is for something big to happen. And then everybody goes, oh my God, and instead of being focused on all this shit they're agitated on, they look away and they become focused on this other thing,
But Mom, listen, let's just say they was a big terrorist attack. You know how many YouTubers or TikTokers or social media people would believe that the government set it off and the government let it happen or whatever? That wouldn't fix it. At the end of the day, we just got to fucking deal with it.
Well,
period. And it's got to be at the lowest level, and how you deal with it at your lowest level, county, church, police, whatever, your community, and then that's just how it's got to be dealt with that way.
Okay, well, I don't know. What I'm saying is, again, this is what I've seen, this is what I've experienced, and there doesn't seem to be an out like what you're saying. I don't see the change from, your county,
No, we're fucked.
Yeah, but if there is a fucking a major event, then everybody's like, oh, what's happening over there? Oh my God, and they just like the COVID, they just fucking steal everything and fucking make more trouble.
Soon as the first hurricane hits Florida, they're going to say the federal government created a hurricane to hit Florida. Geo, whatever. They're going to say some shit. You know what I'm saying? It would literally have to, it doesn't matter. There's nothing that can bring this country together. Nothing. Because someone will enjoy what happened. And it will be a lot of people because their life fucking sucks. And no one loves them. And no one loves them because they shouldn't be loved. And they're just assholes. And they want to be anarchists and just let shit burn down. Because that's how bad their life sucks.
Look, I hear what you're saying. So what you're saying is there's no hope.
honestly, I don't see it because it's just festered and festered. I mean, how many times you gonna kick a can down the road, man? Right? Or how many times you gonna walk past a
Which
piece
can
of
which can which can
McDonald's cup?
which can are we
It
talking
doesn't
about?
matter what can.
The-
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
No. Just everything that's going on, right? I mean the basic bullshit. Okay. Let's just say child hunger. There you go.
There you go.
Bitching about that. There you go. You can't complain about a kid going hungry. You know, like, I don't want no kid to go hungry at night, but it happens.
Yeah, it
You know
happens
what
a
I'm
lot.
saying? Like we keep kicking these cans, all these cans down the road, and it amazes me that how many times someone will walk by a piece of trash in their neighborhood before they'll pick it up.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
yeah,
you don't
no.
want to deal with shit.
Yeah, I pick up trash when I see. I pick up other people's dog poop, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um,
But that's pretty much where we are.
Right, but see, you say kicking the can down the road, and then it's like you bring up childhood hunger. That's something that should absolutely not be happening,
Not
and
exist in this country.
and
Our homelessness.
absolutely no reason whatsoever for that to be happening, except for these evil politicians, right? Because we're not being represented. So.
Exactly.
But the thing is, again, when you say, when you use the example of hungry kids, then that's this thing, again, that's easily solvable. But when we look at it about the can being kicked down the road of, like, let's say the drug war, the drug war is just completely fucked. It's messing up our entire country, the drug war, and it's messed it up for a long, long time. That's why all this fucking fentanyl is in the streets. That's why all this meth is in the streets, because forever we've said, oh no, you can only have alcohol. So people, oh no, weed is bad, and then your fucking, 14, 15-year-old smokes weed, and he goes, this isn't bad. And so they can't be trusted on anything else being bad, and you have to figure it all out by yourself. And the thing is that if there was, these party stores, if people didn't go to the black market to get these drugs, our whole country would be so much safer, because this gun crime violence that you're talking about, in fact, what I understand is like 80% of crime is drug related. So if we end the black market, that goes away. This is but no one wants to solve that problem, Brandon. So here's the deal. Everybody knows this is the facts. They know that child hunger can be solved. They don't want to solve it. Why? Why don't they? And I'm not talking about the general public, because, again, they're being distracted by a million different fucking things, and they don't even know that. I'm talking about the people that are supposed to be solving stuff like that, because they don't give a fuck about childhood hunger. That can only be the reason, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Listen, here's a prime example. We got enough signatures, so the marijuana is back on the ballot in November. Yeah, and it's going to be for recreational use. And I'm telling you, I think Missouri going to pass that some bit sideways. It's going to be no issue. Which would be a good thing. But yeah, it's that constant threat, and it's like now, cops these days don't even give a fuck about that shit. They don't give a fuck about $15, $30, and $80 of dope you got in your car.
I think it depends on what neighborhood you're in, dude.
You know what? To be honest, here, the police in St. Louis County, I can speak for St. Louis County, they don't even pull people over for expired tags, because they why would I pull them over if they can't get their fucking tags? Then why would I want to pull them over and give them a ticket and fuck with them?
Yeah. Well, I sure hope that's true, because I haven't seen public servants act that way for a long time.
Yeah. No, it's like it's been passed down, because, and then when COVID hit, you had you see cars with the paper tag that's a year old.
Huh, wow.
You know what I mean? Because they got to pay the taxes. Here in Missouri, it's kind of weird on taxes. So when you buy a car, when you go get your, unless you finance your shit, then, your tags and stuff, if not, you got to go pay them taxes up front. So if you buy like a $30,000 car, you're going to pay like $3,000 up front for your tags. And some people just ain't got the money. So they just ride on paper tags until they get the money. Then they go, typically they wait till they get their tax return. Then they go get their plate.
Well, whatever works. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. But yeah, I know I would love to hear that cops are concerned about, making poor people's lives worse. That would be very heartwarming for a change for about cops.
Yeah, it is. To be honest, you don't hear a lot of dumb shit in St. Louis when it comes to, like, cop harassment. Like, I knew you had the Michael Brown situation. That was Ferguson, which is right here in St. Louis. But it's after that, it's like the cops really just kind of tone shit down, but you still have your crime wave, and it's from like 6 neighborhoods, who go around, break windows. They'll go all over the place.
Yeah.
Then they'll have their little internal battles. That's all the fucking time. But it's like 6 fucking neighborhoods in St. Louis that are just like, we're the bad young men, because it's all young men, to be honest. It's not like women doing this shit. It's always young men. And their testosterone's up. None of them ever had a fucking father. Shit. Yeah.
I hear what you're saying. It seems like, environment has a lot to do with that. And honestly, I think that a lot of it is this desensitization to violence. I think that.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Mox, when I was deployed, it'd be common after a car bomb to see Iraqis or Afghanis walking down the street holding dead babies. Like it's nothing, no emotions on their face. Because they've been through it so much.
And they're totally in shock, it's like, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's like, oh, what? Because you watch it on TV so much, say if someone is, doing something wrong, they're like, oh, okay, no, it's not a biggie, they're used to it. And that's like, anyway, it's Hollywood and everything else.
Right.
But, hey, Mike, I want to ask you something about because I missed your episode about fucking UFOs, man.
Yeah, I thought I talked to you. No, I talked to you.
Really? So we talked about that?
Yes, you were telling me about friends of yours who told you stories.
Oh, the Navy guys. Yeah, okay, all right. Well, shit, my bad, Ma.
It's all good. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, it was just because I've been looking at some other shit, man, and I think something's going to drop close to the end of the year, like some more really good footage and stuff.
Well,
I'm kind of in that community.
Yeah, right on. I was talking with one of the ladies at the store today, and she was asking me about Stephen Greer. Do you know who that is?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I've watched a lot of his documentaries.
Yeah, she said that he was definitely someone to look into. I was telling her that show, the UFO. I said we do a live show every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and I said like every show I'm like we have to burn down the motherfucking government, and then we do this show that's just about UFOs, and they take that show down for some kind of strange government.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
And did you see that show? The show that I did that talked about the Men in Black taking down the UFO show.
No.
Yeah, I mentioned your stories on that video.
Oh, okay. And they took it down.
They took down the live one that we did, the YouTube, the show that was just all about UFOs. Yeah.
Okay. Did they take the one that we were talking about Jews?
About what? No, I don't think so.
I see it was funny.
I paid pretty close attention, man, and I did not see any complaints about that one.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, but we wasn't being rude. I mean, nothing. But anyway, now we're probably here complaining.
Fuck Israel.
The government, that is.
No, fuck Israel. Fuck Israel.
Hey, dude.
They're horrible.
It's,
They're hurting people daily.
Yeah.
They're hurting people. They're hurting. You know, the people there are just being kept in a prison, and
that's what baffles me. Like,
yeah.
like, what baffles me is they're treating them like they were the fucking Nazis, man.
Yeah, well,
You know, like they never did nothing like to that extreme level. But I believe that the white Jews didn't really go to Israel. It was the other brown Jews that had to go to Israel. Some white Jews went down there, you know, so they have that grievance with the other brown people, you know. But like the white Jews, you kind of see because they're kind of against Israel when it comes to that apartheid they got over there, or whatever you want to call it.
I hope so. I don't know how much.
But it seems that way.
I don't know how much longer that can go on. You know, those people are living in hell. You know, and plus they fuck
like,
with their neighbor. They fuck with their neighbors all the time. They bomb Syria all the time. They start up shit with fucking Lebanon all the time. You know.
But Mark, can I ask you this? Like, how if, and I think we all agree, bad shit's going on with the Palestinians, right?
Yeah.
But for everybody else to stand around and just watch and let it happen, it's like, what the fuck did the Palestinians do?
Well,
You know,
I think it's.
were they the ones that killed Jesus? I have no idea. Like to be honest, I guess they're neighbors with Jordan, right?
Yeah.
Jordan don't give a fuck about them, and it's not because they're scared of America. Like if it was something like going on, they'd be like, "Hey, look, calm the fuck down, Israel." They don't even say that shit. No one says any fucking thing. So it seems to me that those people are very undesirable in that region of the world, and no one gives a fuck. For I don't know why. I don't know what their ancestors did, but that's the way it looks to me.
Well, okay, I just told you that, Israel starts a war with Lebanon on a regular basis. I just told you that Israel bombs Syria all the time. Okay, so when you stick up for one of these countries, bad things happen. You know, when you stick up for the Palestinians, bad things happen. So maybe it's not in your people's best interest to care about what's happening over there, because it,
Yeah, but Mark, what economic gain do you get out of it if you're Israel bombing? You know, if they have beef and they're worried about Syria with nuclear weapons, because they know the Syrians are gonna come get them one day. I understand that, dude.
A huge part of Israel's economy, just like the United States, is the military-industrial complex. You know this, and so obviously they benefit in a number of ways when they're starting skirmishes and being aggressive to whoever.
But let's go back to those people who, all these people are mad how Israel's treating them. Then how come, I think globally everyone disagrees with what's going on, right? In the West Bank and shit like that, right? But no one is like saying stop it and making them stop. So obviously those people must be the least. They got to be the worst people ever did. Because no one cares about it.
I don't think. Well, look, I think that here's you got like two giant military people, governments, Israel and the United States. United States. I've said, if I was president, I would pull an aircraft carrier off the coast of Gaza, and I would say the blockade ends today. And just fucking ship as much food and water into there as quickly as possible. And medical supplies. But that's not going to
but the
happen
example-
because nobody gives a fuck
No,
about them.
But Mark, it shouldn't take an aircraft carrier to do that. It should say, hey, listen, y'all stop.
Well,
I mean, come on. But again, that's what should be said. Everyone says,
right.
you know what,
We'll
you're right,
start. We'll start there.
But
Okay. We'll
Yeah.
we'll go. Okay. The $40 billion that the United States is giving you, we're gonna not give it to you for a few days. But honestly, I don't think that'll work. Okay. So. But so, I would immediately be having that aircraft carrier head that direction. Because this should be a priority. This is a fucking crime against humanity. And we can't act somehow like we're partners with people who are going around committing crimes against humanity, especially people that are the weakest in the fucking planet. It's just not right.
But Mark, but even worse than that. Look at the land. It's really undesirable land, that area of the world, because I've lived in the Middle East for almost 4 years. It's really undesirable. There's nothing. It's sand.
Well,
it's always a sandstorm. I mean, period.
Okay, there's there's $1 trillion natural gas reserve just off the coast of Gaza, and it's disputed who owns it right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, you already know who's going to win that argument. So
because soon there's not going to be a Gaza. So yeah, I know who's going to win that argument.
But again, no one cares about those people. Look at all the neighbors around them, the other countries.
Look at the United States. Let's talk about our government. I don't know about other governments. Let's talk about our government. Yeah. Again, we were saying earlier that the United States government doesn't care about little children going hungry in our own country. Mm-hmm. They could fix this easily, and they don't. Okay? So that means they don't really care. Because it might take just a little bit of extra effort and maybe another $1 billion. But, geez, we got money like that for everybody else. But, okay, so they don't want to fix that. And we talk about this thing where it's this prison and there's a blockade and all these crimes against humanity going on. It's like, well, they don't want to fix this shit at home and they don't want to fix it over there. This government's just plain evil, And
I wouldn't necessarily say it's that. Listen, we're not evil like other fucking countries. We are trying to. I get it. You're gonna disagree with me, upon that. Yeah, we do some wrongs, but we miscalculated in Iraq. Period. Okay, we miscalculated in Vietnam. That was a proxy war. It's just I don't understand why nobody stands up for these people. Like, it just tells you that no European countries give a fuck about anybody black and brown. Number one, okay, period. And then you have the white Jewish people. They don't really give a fuck about them, and that's supposed to be their homeland, and that's the fucking neighbor. No one gives a fuck about these people, and I would like to know why. Like, why no one cares about you? And
why no one care about the Native American people? Well, why is Canada just now acting like Native American people, what do they call them? Indigenous people were important to their history, and they've been fucked over and over again. They're in the way. Okay, again, I said there's this $1 trillion natural gas reserve. They're in the fucking way. And it's not just the Israelis who wanted that. It's big oil around the world. So they're going to, somebody's going to make a fucking boatload of money. And the United States, which is all about big oil, is not about to let some little pissant fucking nobody stand in the way. Indigenous people, they've lived there for fucking ever.
Yeah, I know. Ooh, man, Ma. Tiny just walked downstairs in her hot pink rose. Gone, girl. She knows on the phone. Mox said, "I baby." But yeah, but hey, Mox, look, man. I might get off this phone.
Yeah, man. Man's got to have priorities.
I know, gotta have priorities. Yeah, I know that's right.
All right, bro.
All right. All right, take care.
Good to hear from you. All right, so somebody's lucky. I do go on. I'm here to talk. So, and I find people's opinions fascinating, right? I like to discuss. I like to hear what it is they're saying, and I like to respond to it, because that's how hopefully we can come to an understanding of how fucked we really are. So far, that seems to be the consensus of the callers this evening. There is no hope. And this is completely my fault, because I am the one who has opened your eyes to this fact over and over and over again for the last 20 years. But the reason, that I started was because I thought that there was hope. I really did. I thought there was hope. Hello, caller.
We're fucked. There's no hope, Mike. We're fucked.
There is no sanctuary.
Yeah. There is no sanctuary. You ain't protected. There's nothing but hatred and bad news and really mean people. That's all there is.
There is no sanctuary.
I know that. I wrote the song called No Sanctuary, man. I know that, Mike. You don't make me quote my lyrics to you. They rhyme,
Yeah, don't do
I
that.
guess 20 people got killed, in Texas, right?
I don't know. Think I want to talk? I think I want to think about that depressing shit.
What the fuck was that?
It's a bell, dude. Every time. You never heard a bell before?
Well, you got a magic bell right next to you that I can't see. Hey, two can play that. I got my talking chicken right here. Anyways, I think the whole problem is fucking mental illness. It's like they blame it on
Obviously.
guns.
Yeah.
Yeah, they blame it on guns. They blame it on Republicans. They blame it on everything except mental fucking illness, and that's the fucking problem.
It's a huge problem in this country. It's not a big problem around the world. Brandon was talking about how guns are the problem around the world. Which guns?
Oh, was he? Oh, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, well, he was saying the guns are here as a problem. He's trying to figure out the gun problem. But
the soldier, the guy that picked up a gun and went to a different country to kill other people, he's the one. He's against guns. That's that. I didn't catch that part.
No, he has a gun. He just bought his wife a gun for her birthday. And I was saying, now you didn't buy your gun, wife a gun, because it's a a beautiful fashion accessory, And he said, no, I did not. So. But he's not against guns. He's just like trying to come up with some kind of solutions to this incredibly complicated problem.
Well, number one would be get these fucking kids off the fucking drugs. The prescription drugs.
And stop all the Satan worshiping.
Yeah, and just bring Jesus back into American life. That's the problem.
I really think they should start gun training in kindergarten. I think if they started gun safety classes in kindergarten, we wouldn't have all these problems.
Well, they used to have it in 5th grade back in the 50s. They had gun training in 5th grade for like a PE course.
Yeah.
So
it's basic safety. It's basic safety training in this country, at least.
Well, I think the main reason they stopped doing that in public schools is the government was afraid that everyone would have a gun and be able to resist the police force or the National Guard or the government, So fuck that shit. Anyways, it's just fucking mental illness. That's what it is. I don't. I haven't been following the news, but I think the last two shooters within the last 10 days have been young white males, I think, and both of them in Texas, I think, too. So I'm not drawing any conclusions except that they're mentally fucking ill, and their mom and dad should have been watching them a little closer. But
Well, there was a shooting in Los Angeles with the guy that was like Taiwanese or something, and he shot up a church that was like Thailand type of church.
when was this?
It was like the same day or the day after the Buffalo shooting. And
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The Buffalo shooter and this latest shooter.
yeah.
Let's see, that
You
was
think
New
the
York
Buffalo
and Texas.
shooter was from Texas? Is that what you say?
No, I'm obviously I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I forgot it was in Buffalo. So yeah, okay, New York and Texas.
And Los Angeles, where the guy shot up a church. Because
How many people did he wound or kill?
I'm not sure. But he was subdued by some people who tackled him, which is good.
Yeah, it's a sad situation, man, and the
But you're saying,
almost as sad.
but the point I was bringing up is that this is an obvious example when the guy shot up a church. Of you're saying that it's mental illness, and clearly that's mental illness. You don't go to this place of worship and start killing a bunch of fuckers because they come from the wrong country. That's something broken inside your head, and the reason that we have that issue is not because of guns, it's because of lack of health care. And especially the focus on mental health care, which there's very, 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 very little considering all the mental illness that is currently going on in this country.
I agree, man. For the last 5-6 decades, you got a problem in your fucking family, and mommy, who's a drug addict, the kid has a problem at school, and mommy, who's already a drug addict, takes the kid to a psychiatrist. Psychiatrist says, "Oh, you're acting out. You got ADHD. Let me give you a prescription." Then the kid gets hooked on the fucking prescription, and then if they go off that fucking medicine, Ritalin or whatever the fuck it is, there's a million different kinds. They freak out because their brain becomes unbalanced because their brain has gotten used to being on a drug. Whereas if you just fucking said, "Hey, what's the problem in your family? Your mom's a drug addict? Okay, let's fucking address that," instead of putting you on drugs too. See, we got this thing, and you know it better than anybody. We got this thing in the United States where beneficial plant named marijuana is criticized, ostracized, made illegal, and we don't have really a marijuana lobby that I can speak to. I'm sure there's one, but normal, right? That's the only one I know. But the pharmaceutical companies have multiple lobbies, and they push their studies on the congressmen for their new drugs, and the Congress make laws saying it's okay to advertise your drug on television, and Ambien and Feel-Goodogen and Tranquillogen and all the fucking names they invent for these fucking whacked out drugs. But all the fucking rodents died, Mike. They all died when they got on Tranquillogen. They don't tell you that. So,
and they don't tell you that you may have fucking episodes where you're walking around or driving around and you're actually sleeping and you don't know that you're driving around.
Right, yeah. And, I mean, a good example of that is the commercial you keep playing for, the marijuana, delivery.
Brightside,
right?
Brightside Cannabis.
Brightside.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like whoever made that ad is directly imitating the pharmaceutical drug ads. It's like, Tranquillogen, we'll deliver right to your door. We'll make your life whole again, But the only safe drug, and it's not even a drug, is marijuana. Even aspirin, too much aspirin will kill you. So, but nobody ever died from marijuana. Nobody ever went and took a couple of hits off a joint and went to a school and shot people. What we got is a plague of madness, and the young people are growing up in an insane world where they need somebody to hate because mom and dad are fucked up, and the school system is fucked up, and I want my driver's license or I'll shoot you, you know. I don't know what you know, it's black people, it's white people, it's Asian people, it's gay people, it's Republicans, it's Democrats, it's Trump supporters, it's, you know, it's crazy, dude. You know,
and this is the thing about attaching labels to yourself, like I keep saying. You know, as they break us down into each one of these demographics that you were just, you know, breaking us all down into. It's how they have all the power and we have none. You know, but you think like, oh, I'm in this group, so I have all the power, so we have more power now. But you don't have enough power to make shit happen, to change what needs to change. You know, you can change this little bit, and that's awesome. But if we're all working together, we can make anything happen. And there's really important things that we need to make happen, like, you know, making sure we have fresh water for your grandchildren to drink.
Yeah, and clean air, and no radioactivity floating through the air or the water or sitting in the ground somewhere. And, you know, the transformation of society from 50,000 years ago to today always depended on only one thing, and that was the transformation of the individual. See, because you can't change society without changing each individual, or at least some percentage of individuals. So that's what mental health is supposed to be about. We're supposed to address the individual problems of the people that come and say, "Hey, I got a problem. What do I do? Do you see a priest? Do you see a psychiatrist? Do you go pop some fucking drugs that you saw a commercial for on TV?" No. We need parents to raise their children, and in the right way. And in order to do that, the parents got to be sane. But the entire society is under the gun, economically oppressed. Half of the adults in the country can't figure out what the fuck is going on. How are you supposed to raise kids? I was lucky enough where I didn't have a child that had drug problems, man. My kid was like smooth as cake. He's better with money than me. He's smarter than me. No drug problems. He's just a little squarehead, and I'm not a square-headed kind of guy. But fuck, man, I can't imagine being a parent of a school shooter. What do you do? What do you say? How do you hold your head up? How can you address what your child did? I mean, it's a mental health problem, and that's what needs to be addressed is mental health, and what do we got? We got lies everywhere, right? The whole world is inverted, turned upside down. You get the Ministry of Truth, which lies to us every day. You got the news, which just lies to us every day. You got doctors destroying health. You got lawyers destroying justice. You got Congress destroying America. We're living in an inverted, insane planet where everything is ass backwards. So it comes down to the individual. Do whatever you got to do to stay sane. That excludes. I know people are going to disagree with me, but that excludes a lot of drug use, especially pharmaceutical drug use. I mean, that has its place, right? I take aspirin, I take Aleve sometimes, but I never took anything to balance my brain out, and I'm sure that's quite obvious. So, I don't know, man. It's a bad deal, bad scene. All these people dying, and they're coming after our guns again, but they're addressing the wrong issue. The issue is mental health, not Trump or MAGA or guns or, anything like that.
Yeah, it's all the basics, as we were talking, me and Brandon were talking about children going hungry, You know, I mean, homeless people. Not that the homeless are directly responsible, but this is what people are seeing. The crime, you know, all of it. All of this is just, you know, you're talking about how everything's fucked up, you know, like you went down the list and then you said that, you know, just try and keep your sanity. I don't think there's any hope of that anymore. When everything's upside down world, keeping your sanity really isn't an option. It's all, you know, just try and get through it. Okay?
Well, I'm doing it. You're doing it.
Yeah.
We're right on top of the insanity, and we still keep our heads. So it's possible, you know. It's just much harder, especially if you're homeless or if you're slaving away at a low-dollar job that, and all of your fucking 80 hours a week pay goes to pay your fucking rent. Fuck that shit. That's not the America I grew up in. I grew up in an America where you could rent a fucking house with multiple bedrooms for $400 a month. You know, and bread was a dime or a quarter, and gas was 75 cents or a dollar. I'm older than Moses, man. No. I hate to sound like my father.
You kids get off my lawn!
I mean, my dad was the biggest fucking bullshitter. It's like, I grew up in the Depression, blah, 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 blah. It's like, dude, you were a little boy in the Depression, okay? You didn't have to work. You weren't looking for a fucking job. I know you went through hard times. You know, this is, and then World War II came along and, it was boomtown, man. You grew up in the luckiest time. You were employed by major corporations. You had a living wage. One person could support a family while the wife stayed home and did dishes or became an alcoholic or had affairs or whatever, you know.
Popped out babies, man. Get with the fucking program, dude.
Yeah, pop out babies. I'm one of them, you know. So, and it's like he could never understand what I was saying to him. It's like, dude, you know, it's hard to make it. The dollar doesn't go so far. Well, when I was young, we had to go to school barefoot in the snow, uphill both ways, you know, and we didn't have all the things you guys have. It's like,
And that's who you're trying. That's who you're trying to sound like. Is that what you're telling me?
No, man. I'm saying the opposite. All you people are fucked. You people are fucked. You got no money. You got no freedom. You're insane. You know? No, man. I'm saying the exact same thing I've been saying for 45, 50 years. The fucking world's going to hell in a handbasket, and I'm on the side of the little people. That's my entire speech right there. That's my entire speech. 50 years old. Shit's fucked up, yo. I don't know.
There is no hope. There is no sanctuary. Do you know that movie with Farrah Fawcett? There is no sanctuary. You don't know that movie? It's called Logan's Run.
Oh, that wasn't the $6 billion man?
No,
Okay. She was in the $6 million man, you know.
I don't think so.
Farrah Fawcett and Arnold Schwarzenegger did the wild thing in the $6 million man, dude.
I saw her on an I Dream of Jeannie episode a couple of days ago. She couldn't have been like more than 19. Oh no, I think she was 20. I looked it up. She was Roger Healy was macking on her, man. I was just like, lucky.
Yeah, as far as I can remember, she was the first real kind of like American supermodel, you know.
I had her poster on my wall.
But I had Jimi Hendrix posters and.
I know you
Led
were
Zeppelin
cool. I
posters.
got it. We all know you were cool, dude. You keep reminding us all the time.
I was king of the street, baby. So no, man, shit is. I'm sorry about these shootings. I don't know about the L.A. Thailand guy, but it's like fuck. What do you say? What do you do? And if you're in Texas, everybody loves guns in Texas.
Look,
Amber
if
Heard came from
it's
Texas.
easy to say. You just got done saying it's a mental health issue. Okay, that's step number one. It's easy to say what to do. Number two, we have to focus on laws that are going to take guns away from criminals, not people. Because people need, you need to have a gun, dude. If you have a family, like I won't have a gun unless there's some kind of like invading force. I wouldn't pick up a gun. But if you have a family, I don't know how you could possibly live without a gun. So the criminals, they don't care about the gun laws, and if you limit the size of a magazine, how many bullets a gun can carry, that only gives the criminals an advantage. It's just a load of shit. All these fucking laws that they go, oh look, we passed this gun law, is just theater. And not just theater, it makes us all less safe.
Well, I only got a couple of moose muskets, so it's like I'm putting the ball in there and packing the powder in there, and by the time I get all that set up, I'm dead. So I got to get some new guns, man, because I'm living in the 18th century with my fucking guns, But I was really disappointed. The clip on my 45 here only holds like 5 bullets, and the spring is broken. It's supposed to hold 7, but it only holds 5.
Hey, I got Steve McClanahan on the call. Okay.
Okay, I want to hear Steve's
all right.
Take on.
Talk to you later.
All right.
Bye. Hello, caller.
Hello. Breaking news. This is Steve motherfucking McClanahan. I am sorry that I have to interrupt that amazing conversation with such an amazing caller. Michael, how are you doing today?
Fine.
That's great. That is fucking amazing. This is Steve McClanahan. In my journey of searching for space aliens, I have also been abruptly, what would you say, there has been a devastating situation that has currently happened down there in the state of Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Steve McClanahan interrupting the news, bringing you breaking news for a public service announcement. Okay, so, in fact, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if the mainstream media should stop utilizing their propaganda. I don't really know that. No, I do know that. They should stop doing that. Why are we doing a bunch of fucking propaganda? You know what? And then I want to fucking say that at the same fucking time that people for so long sit here and fucking say, lyrics to fucking the most popular fucking songs that fucking sit here and talk about fucking doing some fucking crazy shit, that are promoted by the fucking, like the vaccine companies, by the way. I would not fucking doubt it one fucking bit. These motherfuckers that fucking think video games don't fucking do anything crazy. Because, it's not like they're sitting there fucking murdering shit and talking to their buddy who's fucking crazy too. And I'm just saying that maybe, why also is it that Hunter... Okay, so I can't get this twisted between Patrick in the chat currently, because that goddamn son of a bitch, he's pretty smart. So what I'm trying to fucking say is, Hunter safety, which the last caller was fucking saying that they taught in the 5th fucking grade, all of a sudden, now, fucking, they just scratched all that and started bitching about gun control, and then fucking we're gonna start fucking sex education in 5th grade. Great fucking deal. Look where we're fucking at, people. Look where we're fucking at currently. This is Steve motherfucking McClaney, and I am fucking back, baby. I am fucking back. I'm breaking the fucking shit news. Everyone is fucking dumb as fuck constantly. Don't even fucking realize it. Fucking over there just fucking acting like I fucking care about fucking shit, ignoring the fucking real issues. Like, I never said, like, guns should be, like, taken away. I think that we should have guns. No, motherfucker, the whole fucking reason that the shit is happening is because we got rid of gun safety classes. And then we started fucking teaching transgender and gay fucking classes. Oh my God! I just fucking figured it out. I can't even believe it.
What kind of gay classes is it that you're talking about?
Dude, they have like literally a new flag for trans kids. They have like adults
I'm asking.
that have created.
You said they have classes for they have gay classes and transsexual classes. What is it?
All this classes.
What is a class? What is a gay class?
They try to make this. They try to make this the whole operation at the school in the classroom with the kids. They've created a new flag for trans kids and they're writing books for fucking 5-year-olds that need to because they're saying these kids.
You sound very angry. You sound very angry when you talk about this. Are you angry?
I just feel like I just figured this out.
Figured what out?
I just figured that literally they have fucking everyone's sitting over there so dumb. They're like, I wonder why these guns are fucking acting a fool.
Because of the gay kids.
What the landlord, by the way, one of the greatest fucking callers out there on the face of the earth, he fucking said back in the 50s or some shit like that, they taught fucking gun safety in class, okay, in like 5th grade, okay? Well, you know what they did? They fucking got rid of gun safety and fucking started implementing fucking sex education, okay? And then fucking bing, bang, boom, there's a bunch of fucking hippies doing acid, drugs, and marijuana, and alcohol and smoking cigarettes, by the way, and then fucking just like firing guns off into the fucking air and shit, and people wonder why stray bullets hit people. We fucking got rid of hunter safety. We fucking started implementing fucking gay shit, and then sex ed. And then they're like, and then look where we're fucking at. I'm just saying, look where the fuck we're at, Michael. This is fucking Steve McClaney. I gotta go. I'm writing down all this fucking information that I'm fucking learning here currently. I'm over here on the fucking border looking for fucking space aliens, okay, trying to do an interview, and this shit's going on? Seriously, Michael? Like, people need to take a look at their fucking behavior. They're like bitching about abortion. I want abortion. Well, you know what? That fucking crazy fuck with no fucking education or no morals, yeah, he did the abortion fucking, 8 years later. I guess it's probably justified. I wonder how many of those women fucking hated their kids and wish they would have had a fucking abortion. That's a possibility, too. We need to get to the bottom of that. So you know what? There's probably actually one of the fucking parents that is actually grateful. Finally, that little shit is fucking gone. And then you know what? If the fucking shooter's mother would have just aborted him and we didn't even ever create fucking guns, then this would have never happened. Okay? You people are fucking... You don't even get anything. Okay, I gotta go. You fucking bastards!
Well, it's nice to hear from Steve. I'm glad that he has this platform to vent so that we don't have to worry about him being out there in the world, right? Hello, caller.
Hey, Mike, is Rush Limbaugh finished with his call?
I don't know what's happening.
That's okay. You don't have to know what's happening. It's cool. Just for a second there, sounded like Rush Limbaugh was talking to you in the studio, and I just caught the very end of that conversation.
I
I mean, something about goddamn sex ed, cutting hunters, regulating classes for guns, and then there was one other thing that he threw in there. I don't recall what it was, but I'm sure Rush Limbaugh would be proud of Steve.
does sound kind of like a Rush Limbaugh show.
Doesn't it?
5 minutes
And it
of
kind
it.
of makes, yeah, it kind of makes me wonder, like, where the programming's coming from there, Steve. Have you been listening to the radio in the car a lot? Because that's where those ideas come from.
A lot of
AM
ideas
radio,
come
right?
from the car radio. You're right.
They do, and it's interesting because I don't see, I spent a lot of time in a car, earlier in the year, like 8 weeks in a car, and to get like diverse radio on AM radio is very hard, to be honest with you. It's you can get like BBC, but like most of the commentary about American politics has like kind of is one-sided. That's what I noticed. Weird, huh?
Well, it doesn't seem like there are a whole lot of it does seem very one-sided to me. There might be like a little bit of alternate voice, but it's very little. It's just this platform works for this kind of audience. That's what's going on with that, I think. Because they try, they try with the America Radio America. What was the one that was Al Gore?
Yeah, Air America.
Air America.
Al Franken, I think, was on that program, and I think even Rachel Maddow.
Yeah, Rachel Maddow had a show on there, and
like
that failed
liberal.
horribly, from what I understand.
Yeah, well, it was bad. It was bad commentary, and they weren't very animated. Like one of the things about the AM radio announcers, the right wing talk announcers, they tend to be very animated, and they're very good at like finding the touchstones with people to sway their opinion.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, there's it's a genre. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying I think that's where a lot of these ideas come from, without further reflection, like reading or like looking at alternate sources or thinking about what other people are saying, for example, but just kind of looking at things from this one perspective.
Yeah. Almost none of those shows are like call-in shows either. They have guests, and the guests are already, they know what their opinion is, and they're on because, they like their opinion.
Yeah, that's why I do like that C-SPAN Washington Journal, which I, like yourself, I watched for many years, and that they do allow callers to call in who just have off-the-wall comments or comments that people wouldn't expect them to make, to ask questions of whatever subject's being talked about during the day, and it adds like added dimension to the discussion instead of people just calling and saying, I like that person sucks. Oh, that kind of positive, negative response. I've been spending way too much time, Mike, watching the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. I probably watched 28 hours or something between Thursday night and today.
You're being
trial.
serious, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I saw
I told you.
I saw pictures of bags of weed. Did you see that?
No.
I saw pictures of bags of weed. It looks like I saw a picture and there was like 3 bags of weed in it, and they looked like they were like a pound or something, maybe half a pound, and they're like, oh, look at his addiction problem, and it showed there's 3 pounds of weed, and I'm like, dude, that's probably like a weekend for him. What the fuck are you talking about? Because I've seen lots of weed, and that doesn't seem like a lot of weed at all. So I was meaning to ask Mike about that because he sells trash bags full of weed. So
right, Well, I've learned a lot from watching this trial. I mean, first of all, every time you watch a trial, you learn about the process of the trial, like voir dire, right? That's a term you don't hear that often, right? But voir dire is when one set of lawyers interrogates an expert witness to see if they actually are an expert witness before they're allowed to sit on a stand and speak in front of the jury. So voir dire is that process, right? And there's other technical parts of court that are interesting to watch. And also the process of like putting a witness on the trial, allowing the other attorney to cross-examine the witness, and then after that having like a third, redirect is what they call it, where they get a chance to like address issues that were brought up during cross-examination. So it's a process. And as I've been watching it, I debated, and I appreciate rhetoric and debate, something I'm interested in. But what I find interesting about it is just watching the whole process, like which legal team is doing better than the other legal team, and so on and so forth. That I find to be interesting. But then, like the social media response to the trial, Mike, where people are like, oh, that Amber Heard, fuck Amber Heard, she deserves her shit, fuck her. And then other people going like, God, Amber was so abused. Amber. And then other people going like, Johnny Depp's fucking cool, man. This is the way that Americans think, Mike, right?
Wow.
Here's a trial being presented to them with evidence being presented by two of like the top legal teams, like for trial lawyers right now in the United States, arguing these cases with expert witnesses. So you get insight into all of these different industries, psychiatry, the movie industry, the legal, all of it, right? So America's getting an insight into all of this. And what do people talk about on social media? Man, that Amber Heard, she fucked over Johnny really hard, didn't she? That kind of rhetoric, right? Man, you know what I mean? It's like fucking domination, Mike. You're dealing with people who they either have a positive or a negative reaction. It's one or the other, and it's automatic. It's childish, and you could apply it to anything. Man, I fucking hate pears.
Well,
Pears suck.
maybe
Apples are cool.
Maybe that's the kind of audience that sort of thing draws too.
Perhaps, Mike.
Yeah.
Perhaps. But
because it's a very sensational thing, you know what I mean? So the draw there is the poor woman and the cool guy and the poor guy, right? So it's basically that's the audience you just described,
Yes, there's like 2 or 3 different angles, and they're about the only angles that are repeated. But during the trial, like yesterday and today, they had expert witnesses talking about the industry and how much money actors expect to make when they're in superhero movies, and how superhero movies are crafted by the industry in all of these different ways based on metrics that they know that a certain audience is going to enjoy a superhero actor that has these certain characteristics, and they'll pay for this and they'll pay for that, and they manipulate these films and they lock them into like 5 and 6 year contracts, so they know they're going to make 3 sequels of fucking a bad movie, right? And that's the state of Hollywood today. And people are just watching it, thinking like Johnny bad, Amber good, and then right in front of them, and the fucking experts are explaining to them the media that you're consuming is garbage being created by Hollywood to manipulate you, and they ignore that part. You know what I mean?
I'm really surprised how much people thirst to see basically the same story told again and again. You would think, although I love Faust. Faust is it's always just a little bit different and always has this kind of gut wrenching kind of feel to it. So.
Yeah, and Shakespeare, can be retold as well. Like good stories can be retold in different ways, and it's fine. I get it. But like a franchise,
yeah,
it's just exploiting characters. It's like saying you like this actor playing this character,
right?
You're willing to spend $25 a year for the next 5 years to watch this actor or actress. You know, I never saw any of the Pirates of the Caribbean movie. I didn't even know what any of this shit was about. Like, I never saw Aquaman. I don't even know what Aquaman is. I mean, I'm really kind of a good person to watch this trial.
But you saw the Batman.
I did. That one I did see, Mike, and that was, you know, that was interesting. Okay, but I don't know if it was like, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it as well. Told you that, right? But I don't know if I'm going to.
It had a really
Batman
shitty
3.
ending, man. That's what I'll tell you about that movie. I don't have any mixed feelings about that at all. The ending is fucking stupid. Go ahead.
Oh, the ending where, like, the Joker is talking to the Riddler in the prison scene and they're laughing, or the ending where the whole city is completely destroyed because Batman obviously can't do his job.
Yeah, that ending.
Which ending?
Yeah, the ending where you have no idea how things end. That ending.
Right. Well, that's intentional for a lot of reasons. And this movie, this trial about Amber Heard and Johnny Depp explains a lot of that. Because there are some actors that, you know, like the character who played the Penguin, is a famous actor. You know, maybe if he wants more than what they're willing to ask, they can rewrite the script and kind of like write that character out. Or they can write that character out and replace that character in 2 sequels. So the studio creates this universe, kind of like this virtual reality that people fall into, so that they keep going to the movies. And like I said, I didn't see Aquaman, but according to what I read and what they were saying, it was like one of the highest grossing movies of all time. Aquaman. What the fuck?
People thirst for heroes, people thirst for sci-fi movies, people thirst for adventure. They don't want this fucking same old, like, oh, here's this woman and she's crying, and here's a soldier and he's dying, you know.
They find drama to be boring, like they hated school. But in turn, though, they're only going to movies that they're being told to go to by the networks that promote these. So this isn't like some free choice.
No, there's very little options.
Spider-Man 7.
Yeah.
And there are options, but they won't go and watch those other films.
Well, like, okay, what other options are covered by many, theaters? Like, you get like a certain percentage of the market where if you're in this city, it might not be the biggest city, but if you have like a nice theater, you're going to get the chance to see this movie, you know.
First-run movies, right.
Yeah, there's not that... I think that the good ones, or whatever you're talking about, I'm saying there's not that much selection. There's not that much that there's not that much choice.
A story with good writing, decent acting, and good directing, right? I mean, there's like 3 basic ingredients to making a movie, I think. As a viewer, I look for those things. Like, is the writing decent? Are the actors pretty good? And are they, the person who's putting it all together, is that person talented, and are they telling the story in a way that's like, meaningful to me? That's what makes a good movie. And very rarely do these cartoon characters, I mean, like V for Vendetta is an exception to the rule. Like, the general rule is that these cartoon kind of cutouts are very simplistic, just like they were in the 1950s. And they're like Superman, the television program. It was very simplistic. The plot simplistic. The dialogue is simplistic. Whatever. The story.
A lot of it's just filled with propaganda, the Superman stuff, and so much other stuff that we see, and so much of it has been, censored and made to stay in this kind of like narrow frame of what's acceptable. I was watching. Mike Myers has a new Netflix series, and in one of the scenes he's at an orgy, and there's just dick swinging everywhere. Like, I don't see any beavers, but there's just dick swinging everywhere, and you wouldn't have the chance back in the day to be able to, have that size platform and do, raunchy jokes like that, that everybody has a chance to see. But I think that, as I'm saying, there's been this, acceptability of the format. And it's unfortunate. There's, I was thinking about this the other day. There's just so much limitation, even now, on what can be said and what can be shown. So, and it doesn't make sense for a civilization that considers itself to be so progressive.
Well, there are YouTube videos about Nazi film. People want to look for them, they can, and you can research this. But there certainly was propaganda created in Nazi Germany. They made some of the first color productions about the same time that The Wizard of Oz was created in the United States. They were also making, full-scale color productions of films with their stories and with their actors in a highly technological society. But they were only able to use television for about 10 years at the most, and we've been able to use it since 1945 for 75 years. So I mean, the level of indoctrination and propaganda is much, much more intense and deeper in the United States than anywhere else in the world, I believe. And I think that has something to do with our orientation of thinking that we're special or that we're different than other people, and that's a misconception. We're told that we're special, we're told that we're different than other people, but in reality, I don't know if that's true. For example, right, the gun issue that y'all were talking about earlier. I found an article that was talking about how the rate of gun violence around the world. The United States is ranked 39th in the world for gun violence, for gun deaths, right? But that's not number one, not number two. It's 39th out of 190 countries. It's pretty high. And when you break the numbers down, though, there were 39,000 gun deaths last year in the United States. Something over 40% of them were suicides. People killed themselves with their own guns. Or
Right.
60%. It was ended up being only 13,000 murders were committed with guns last year in the United States. And when you look at those numbers compared to automobile deaths in the United States, automobile deaths were the number 2 cause of death or 3 cause of death for people in their midlife, right? And those numbers of deaths were comparable to the numbers of deaths by guns. But over 4 million people went to the hospital last year from car accidents in the United States,
Right.
which is a huge number, right? Medical malpractice killed 250,000 people in the United States last year. That's doctors and hospitals making mistakes with people in the best healthcare system in the world. The best healthcare system that private capitalism can give them will kill 250,000 people a year just because it's a malpractice. How about that? And are we having on our television programs night after night after night for 2 days in a row? Oh my God, medical malpractice in the United States is off the charts. Oh my God, how many people died in a car accident today? How many people died in a car accident as of 5 a.m. this morning? Mike, we've got a caller from Kansas. How many people died in Kansas today from a car accident?
Yeah.
It's just taken for granted. People die every fucking day in car accidents in the United States.
Yeah, and
we don't talk about it.
I mean, if it's really that important, a lot of these things are preventable, and at least we can not so much prevent it as we can address the reasons that that's happening, as if it's just as important, which clearly it's not. The reason being because it's a highly political, divisive kind of issue, and that's what matters most, is the divisiveness.
The politics is what people, my side or your side, I'm right or you're wrong. But both of these political parties, I don't think it is just the politicians writing the laws. It's the people who own everything, Mike. it's a capitalist economy. So like the people who actually make decisions about what can and cannot occur are not just the lawmakers exactly. I think, like for example, housing in the United States, whether you have access to housing in the United States, the government hasn't done anything to give people housing as a right. And if they gave people housing as a right, it would be a stipend probably to give to private landlords in lieu of rent.
Yeah.
Right? That's how they would do it. So the things when did guns become really popular? I think it was after the Civil War in the United States. I read this one number, Mike, that during colonial times in the United States in the late 1700s, only 13% of the population had arms. 13% being about 1 out of 8 people had a rifle.
Is that due to availability, you think? I mean,
well,
is that what you're saying?
The fact that I'm saying it has to do with the fact it's expensive technology. It's an expensive tool that most people can't afford. And also, there's this question again of urban versus rural space. How many people are living in a rural environment? How many people are living in an urban environment?
Right.
And what are you protecting yourself? And as far as like Virginia and Massachusetts, what are you protecting yourself against? You're basically what, Indians? Who out there in the woods is trying to get you? There's nobody fucking there.
I think some people got some of their food with guns also.
Some hunting.
Yeah.
Okay. So as a constitutional right, the 13% of the people that had guns at that time, 1780 or 1790, right, together, if they put their guns together, they would have what you would call a militia. And if they have their guns together, like you have 7 guns and you all have practice shooting with each other, now you have a militia. And the word militia is used right in the Second Amendment. So the intent, in other words, when they created the Bill of Rights, after the first Constitutional Convention, and then they met and they said we need to abridge the Constitutional Convention and add these things, and then we're good to go, and we got a republic or whatever. When they did that, they added those rights. They how could they in their mind envision like every single person having a gun, or a person having a machine gun, or a person even having an accurate revolver? Just let's be honest here, right?
I think they were very visionary people, and I think that what they really wanted, when you talk about a militia, is that what they wanted was that, what the government had, the people could match, more or less, be able to stand up against. So, it would make kind of sense as the government's weaponry expands, so does the people. By what you're saying.
They were able to raise an army.
What's that?
They could raise an army. They could raise an army. They were able to raise an army by having the right to bear arms.
The people, is that what you're saying?
Yes. The masses.
That's part of it. That's part of it. That's the reason that they have us so divided. That's the reason that they have all of you attaching labels to yourself so that you can't join together. And then we have the power. We have the army. We can make happen what we need to, especially if it's just fucking sit down and not do anything for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
I don't own a gun, Mike. I don't know if you own a gun. I don't own a gun. But I do believe that if I were to choose to own a gun, right, that if I had to take like a 6-week course about gun ownership and including some time at the range and including some kind of like, class one Saturday where you learn about the risk of, psychological issues or drinking and gun violence or whatever, just as a prerequisite to get a gun, I wouldn't be upset about that. Why? It wouldn't hurt my feelings at all. How could that hurt my feelings? So if you're going to have a gun, if you buy a car, you have to demonstrate that you can use a car. right? And cars are dangerous, and they are regulated. You have to have a license plate on your car. You have to have insurance on your car.
Right.
Because of the damage you could do to another person. More people die from cars than from guns. However, nobody's taking your right away to own anything. However, in order to have that gun, you have to demonstrate at least that you have some competence of the weapon, awareness of how to use it. So I've had like a friend from Switzerland who a long time ago. He told me about conscription in that country. Every adult male is conscripted in Switzerland, and when they get conscripted, they learn how to use a rifle. And when they are finished with their military service, they are sent home with a box that has a rifle in it.
Right.
And at any time during the year, the government can knock on their door and ask to look at the box. And if the box has been tampered with or fucked with in any way, shape, or form, the person is held accountable for that. However, they know how to use guns, they have a gun, and if there was some rampage going on in their community, they could grab the gun out of the box and, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But they're also trained.
Well, see, what's that?
They're also trained. They're trained.
I was saying,
weapon and so forth.
I was saying earlier that, if they had a gun safety class in kindergarten, a lot of this shit wouldn't happen. So, but if the FBI just did their job, this shit wouldn't happen. So,
yeah, I think that car, education for driving, driver's education, I think it should be free and offered by the government without any extra fees for parents, because I believe that every teenager in America, especially if they're going to be in any kind of a rural or remote area, needs to know how to drive a car for a variety of safety reasons, a lot of different reasons. That it's just it's a skill that I don't think is a bad skill, whether they ever use it again or not, driving.
Yeah, no, I think that makes total sense. I think they should learn how to drive because of that reason. They should learn how to drive both an automatic and a stick, because it's an important skill that if it becomes necessary, you need to be able to know how to do it.
And a lot of accidents in cars are with younger drivers between the ages of 16 and 25. So if they had more intensive driver's education that was free, and so there was no disincentive for people to not do it, I think that it would decrease accidents, which would save money. So I would imagine the insurance companies would support something like that. I don't know. I don't know why school districts would try to privatize that. We don't do driver's education here in our town.
Yeah.
We have the driver's school that we contract to do these things with, private, public.
Yeah.
That's the way it works today with that. And it's the same with insurance and mental health issues. If people actually had their own psychologist or their own doctor or something, a mental health consultant they could go to without fees or costs, just man, I'm not feeling really well. Maybe you should go talk to somebody. Okay, I will. And you just open a door and somebody says, oh, come step over here. I'm a professional psychologist from the state of Washington. How can I help you? It should just be very accessible and easy for people to have access to free mental health services. Simple problem solved.
Yeah, well, there should be a lot of regular government advertising on the interwebs and the television. So, because people, I think that would, people, we're here to help, and, it doesn't cost, you don't have to worry about how much it costs. Just, let's get things in the world understandable for you. Go ahead.
So that's one thing that capitalism does, and I know that both anarchists and socialists are opposed to capitalism, usually, but never mind. But this idea that capitalism makes money off of people's crises. So instead of solving the problem with, say, here's healthcare, you're not sick anymore. It's here's a place you can go that you can borrow money for, but then they'll give you some healthcare, and then you'll have a debt for the next 20 years. That's what you got to do. Go to this place, and then they're going to charge you, and then you're going to have to pay them as debt, and that's how things work. And a lot of people make jobs off of that. We have debt collectors that make money off of you. We have administrators that are overpaid that are going to help you. And that's capitalism. So they see it as a capitalist, i.e. people who own hospitals and make profit off of other people who are sick. Isn't that kind of sick? How do you make your living? Well, actually, I run a hospital and I make money off of sick people. We do pretty well, though.
Yeah.
Right? That's capitalism.
Yeah,
Or,
and it's not just I own a hospital, it's I own a string of hospitals, and, we gouge people for every penny we can.
How can I exploit you today?
Yeah.
Let's start at like $75 just to process you through admissions, and $2,500 a day for a hospital room or something. Right, right off the bat. Everything just adds up with hospital bills, and it's a racket. The insurance companies are a complete racket. That's another feature of capitalism. Automobile, health, you have to purchase insurance, to protect you and your property in a capitalist economy. We waste so much fucking money. There are so many jobs that just do not have to exist. And we could have a functioning economy, right? It's really simple. So earlier, Brandon was talking about Palestine, and he said nobody cares about those people, and those people have shit land, man. Their shit, like not fucking worth shit. That's what he said. And I just want to point out that you can look at this map at worldpopulationreview.com, and it shows 138 nations in the United Nations that support and recognize the state of Palestine. And that's out of 193 countries. 138 of them recognize Palestine as a country. The only places in the world that do not recognize Palestine as a country are the United States, Canada, Mexico, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, and Western Europe, and Korea.
And that's why Gaza gets no help. Go ahead.
Every other fucking country, every country in Africa, every country in South America, almost all of the Eurasian continent, except for Korea and South Korea, all of them support Palestine's right to exist. So when he says nobody gives a shit about those people, he's just wrong. He's just fucking wrong. The only people who care about the state of Israel and are willing to go on a limb are the old English Empire. The old empire, Mike, went from Australia and New Zealand up to northern Canada. The old British Empire, United States, and a few countries in Western Europe. By the way, all of those countries in Western Europe were former colonial powers. France, Spain, Portugal, England. They all owned country in other parts of the world. And they're the countries that support Israel. Right? So, I mean, it's just really obvious that, like, Israel was created by the Western Empire, by Britain, and with the help of the United States, it was allowed to exist. There were people who lived in Palestine. They were murdered, and their land was taken from them. If they did not comply, they were kicked out of the country. There are millions of Palestinians that live in other countries because their land was stolen from them, and a corrupt government, mostly of Europeans. I don't know about this brown, white Jews thing. There's different kinds of Jews. I don't even know what he was fucking talking about, right? Most of the people in Israel are from Europe, Mike. Most of the immigrants who came there after World War II were from places like Poland and Ukraine and East Germany. They were from Central Europe. For the most part, that's where they were from, by the way. And where is this war happening in Ukraine right now? In the exact homeland of these people. If you want to talk about a real civil war, all of the people of Israel should get off their butts and go back to Ukraine and fight the neo-Nazis in Ukraine and Poland who have taken over their country, right? That's what I see, frankly. As for the Palestinians, they should be given their land back and allowed to practice their religion as they see fit. And they should be treated as ordinary people, whether they're Europeans or Arabs. It doesn't fucking matter. That simple. But there are many countries in the world that support the state of Israel. And like you pointed out, the natural gas the fishing rights, you know,
Yeah.
all of that, all of the land, and they're not just like, you know, and nobody in the Arab world gives a fuck about them. That isn't true either. They do care
Yeah.
about them. But the fact is the United States has manipulated those countries and has pressured them as a bully, like we are a fucking bully, and say, look, you either recognize Israel and support Israel, or we're not going to play with you anymore.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of shit that we do. Economic sanctions on countries, basically.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to tell Brandon is, you know, it doesn't matter what the rest of the country, what the rest of the world does. What matters is what we do, and you know, all we have to do is say it stops now. And I personally would put an aircraft carrier right off the shores of Gaza myself, and say today, you know,
right.
the blockade's over, because it would be in no uncertain terms. We are not fucking around here, okay? And you know.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, the USS Liberty comes to mind, but that's perfect. See, let them attack us. I thought we were the good guys. I thought we were good friends. All we're trying to do is get supplies to poor people who desperately need them. Isn't that what the good guys are supposed to do?
Yeah, I guess it is. Like in the movies, the guy with the white hat and the guy with the black hat.
Well, no, it's the people who have plenty. The people who have plenty are supposed to make sure those who don't have don't starve to death.
Well, that sounds like a Muslim idea to me, Mike. I don't know if you've been on a jihad or what, but that sounds like a Muslim idea.
I don't know. I don't know anything about Muslims.
Well, whoa! I think that tithing is mandatory.
What?
You know, like tithing, like they do with the church, right? You give 10% of your income.
Oh.
And then that income is immediately redistributed. No questions asked. It just is. It isn't even an option. Like I went to a Protestant churches, one of them. And, you know, they suggested that people give money, but, you know, you were almost like just supposed to give money, right? Just like they almost, this person gives money. But in Islam, that isn't like a choice. It's almost like it just happens. So I think that in the Islamic world, there may be a different attitude towards approaching poverty that's a little more sincere than it is in the West, where it's just kind of like, you know, I gave my donation to the Salvation Army. I don't have to worry about it. Kind of. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Americans are really indifferent to poverty and to homelessness. And it has to do with our, you know, I got mine, and why would I worry about my neighbor? Because that's his problem, right? With a sneery, snarky laugh. Ha, ha, ha. It becomes a meme, and then people think that's funny. And that's what America is.
I think that might be what America is, but I don't think that's who the soul of the American people, U.S. people are. I think that there's this programming, and they I don't even think they understand that caring for the mentally ill, caring for the homeless, feeding the hungry, it's like that's not even, you know, anywhere on the radar. You know, they just, and it's not because they don't have heart. It's because they're just fucking overworked and programmed and afraid.
I think they enjoy some of the programming too, Mike. I mean, honestly, like you know, I have been watching this trial, you know, and doing my own little cultural studies. Okay. And every day I've been looking at how many people watch this video, you know, like 7 hours of just trial, just a whole trial. And it's like 10, 12 million hits.
A day?
Law and Order channel. A day. Each video has been getting 12 million hits.
And that's just that one stream. There's probably all kinds of other streams.
One stream.
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of people who are commenting about it, and they're viewing it from different platforms besides YouTube and so on and so forth. So probably easily, you know, 50 million people or something are following this in the course of their day.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a cultural event on that level. Again, I don't know. I do have my feelings about it, and I think that both of them are guilty of being horrible human beings. I think both of them like abused each other repeatedly, and I think neither of them deserves any money. And that's what I feel about it. And the
That
rest
sounds
of
like
it
all
is just-
relationship breakups to me.
yeah, like there's no such thing as a winner and a loser.
Yeah.
They both are winners or losers in ways. And I think to look at it beyond that and go into the sordid details, he raped me with a whiskey bottle, he cut my finger off with a broken piece of glass, you know, she shit in the bed, he hit me in the face repeatedly. And then there's other weird shit with this trial, Mike. So the lawyers, like I do think Johnny Depp's team of lawyers, there's 5 of them, are very good. I think they've done an excellent job. And one of the lawyers is the person who cross-examined Amber Heard. She's a woman named Camille Vasquez is her name. And she's the youngest lawyer of all the lawyers on the floor. And, you know, she's kind of attractive or semi-attractive, right? And that's all that, like, you know, Joe Meathead in fucking the comments has picked up on, right? So if you're actually looking at the comment thread as like these lawyers are talking about, you know, with these witnesses about aspects of the case, all they're talking about is stuff like, man, what an ass, and I bet she's fucking Johnny, and this kind of banter, which is like this complete objectification of women, by the way, Mike, that's what they call it, you know.
Uh-huh.
And it's very prevalent. And in fact, the other lawyers have been just as competent as she was. She just happened to get the job of cross-examining Amber Heard because she was a younger woman, and therefore, like, nobody could play off the fact that, like, somebody was manipulating a younger woman, like an older man who's a lawyer, you know, cross-examining her. And it definitely made it more equal, where Amber Heard didn't have any advantage over the lawyer because she was younger and attractive. That's the only reason why she was in the trial, basically. So, but that's a form of manipulation as well, you know.
Yeah. Look, I see that happening a lot, and I'm going to talk about that more in the coming days. You know, the reason that this person has her job is so that she can, you know, talk about women negatively without being sexist, you know. But we'll get to that later. As far as Amber Heard, is that it? Is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
actress was married to Johnny Depp.
Yeah, Amber Heard. I don't know, but as far as that goes, she's not like someone who doesn't have any money. A woman who's married, engaged, you know, living with this person who's abusive, and she doesn't have any way out. You know, she knows what's going on. She has plenty of money to just fly off wherever the fuck she wants, most likely in a private jet, and go live a nice life and go, yeah, this is what's happening with Johnny Depp, and make all kinds of money off of fucking making movies or whatever. But instead, she goes back for more abuse. She goes back for more abuse. She goes back for more abuse. Okay? It's one thing for a woman who can't get out of a relationship like that. It's another thing for a woman to go in and see what she gets tonight. It's very different.
Well, that could be a reason, Mike, why a lot of women are in the courtroom, you know, supporting Johnny Depp, I guess. I think a lot of people also are in denial of abuse that may have happened to them, kind of. So by supporting Johnny Depp, it's a way to kind of get past that or overlook that or whatever. I think there's a lot of deeper issues going on with the people who are supporting Amber Heard and supporting Johnny Depp. But you did raise a good point there. Who the fuck can afford a trial for 21 days, all right? Nobody, right? Like, let's be honest about this. Like the whole right of a jury trial is one of those things enshrined in the Bill of Rights that we were just talking about, like your right to a fair trial with your peers is like written in the Bill of Rights. But it really doesn't exist in the United States. because like over 90% of cases, criminal cases, are dismissed by pretrial. People make deals before
Yeah.
it ever goes to court.
Right.
So people make deals and they never even go to get a court. They never get a decision to make a court. And some of the deals, plea bargains that people make, actually are innocent people, probably, Mike, I'm
Yeah.
guessing, who are pleading guilty because they're going like, yeah, you can go to jail for like 25 years because I have 5 counts and I'll know I'll win 3 of them against you, you piece of shit. However, you just sign off for 3 years in prison right now, and I swear to God, I don't fucking care. There's your choice. So they sign off for 3 years in prison, and they didn't even do anything. But they can't really go in front of a jury trial to have it go to court, you know? And so there are people in those situations in America, in this country. So that is not free, you know, freedom, like.
No, our country's fucked. I mean, that's why I scream about the government every fucking show, is because there's no reason for it to be this bad. We're the richest country in the world, or whatever it's that we've been told since we were little. You know, I don't care if we're the richest country in the world or not. What I care about is that we have priorities, like making sure there's no hungry children. How can we be the richest country in the world and there's hungry children going to bed every night in this country, and there's homeless people everywhere? How can we be the richest people in the world and allow something like that to be our country? You know, why would we want to live in those neighborhoods? Of course we don't want to live in those neighborhoods, so we take the fucking homeless and we fucking shove them into the street and get them to wander off to some other neighborhood. Okay, instead of just fixing the problem.
Yeah, well, like I said, there are a lot of people who make money off of other people's misery. So the bail bondsman makes money off of a criminal, you know, a privatized criminal law system where people can borrow money to get out of court. And fines, you know, this idea of fines, how do fines really affect rich people, right? They don't. I mean, if you get, say, fined an X amount of money and you have a lot of money, it doesn't matter. You just pay the fucking fine, right? But if you're poor and you get strapped with like a $5,000 fine, that's going to impact you much, much more than it impacts the person who is rich. So the whole idea of the criminal system using fines, imposition of fines on people is a way that there's classist discrimination in our economy. Poor people are discriminated against in the system. They do not receive fair trials. Many times they do not receive housing. You know, they do not receive the same respect by the police that rich people have. And we like to talk about racism being endemic and a problem in the United States, and it is, to a degree it is. But also we overlook the fact that classism is really real in America, and that poor people are discriminated against in many ways. And a lot of times we do the thing like, well, you know, fuck it. They deserved it. They made a lot of bad choices in life, Mike.
Yeah.
And frankly, fuck it. You know, they could have made better choices. What can I say? I don't really have much to say, but I guess they're in jail now, huh? Well, that's too bad. No empathy whatsoever.
In jail, homeless, you know, whatever it is, you know, addicted to drugs, you know, all those people.
She spread her legs open, and I guess she needs to be forced to have a baby. I mean, it's not my problem.
Yeah.
Force her to have the baby, Mike. Anyway, I'm gonna listen to some other calls. I ranted too long, but I'm glad I got a chance to talk with you, Mike. And I have mixed feelings about the whole thing. I don't know. You know, I guess the town where the event occurred, anyway, the shooting occurred, 22,000 people, an hour away from San Antonio. 82% of the people were Hispanic in that community, and like 75% of them were poor. So the victims of this latest school shooting were the poorest people in the United States. That would be, you know, poor Hispanics in Texas making below the, you know, standard wages in America. They were the victims.
Yeah. And those are the victims back and forth across the United States and in community after
The
community.
drug war. The drug war, yeah. In Mexico, so many more people died of the drug war, and along the U.S. border, it's Mexican Americans who are often killed with the drug violence and the border. So if we would legalize drugs, you're right, we would solve a lot of these problems. With mental health services, it would make it better. With some kind of nationalized health care, so people would have an option instead of going without. At least have something instead of nothing would be better than the status quo.
And just
I'll talk to you another
not being penalized for trying to seek help too, you know.
Yeah, I wish the fucking sun would come out, Mike, because I did put those starts. I did soak the seeds and they're out, and like haven't seen the green. It's been only a couple days, but it's just been really gray. And
Yeah.
extended forecast, it's going to be gray for another 4 days or something, like through the weekend.
Yeah,
Just
I'm
on
gonna
that.
start seeds tomorrow. I got pots all set up and ready to put in, genetics into. I have my neighbor next door, who's an Asian guy who moved in a couple of years ago. Like right after he moved in, he came over to talk about something. I can't remember what it was. And I was emptying water out front into the hedge, and he goes, "Hey, just moved in." I said, "Oh, come on back to the backyard." And I got like 15 plants, going. And he's like, So I saw him the other day, and he's got a big sign on his front door, right? And it says, "No soliciting." And I'm like, "Hey, are you getting a bunch of solicitors?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "What are they soliciting?" He said, "Oh, they want to sell us windows." He's got 1970s windows on the house, So
Wow.
he said, "Are you going to do your garden this year?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm getting it ready right now." I said, "Do you want me to start a plant for you?" And he has, "Sure." Okay. He's like the straightest looking
That's
kind of
awesome.
Japanese guy,
No, that's really awesome. Like, congratulations on that connection. That kind of like high times positive connection with your neighbor. That's a good thing.
yeah, I'm gonna start some plants for other neighbors and my UPS guy. Everybody gets a plant. You
Yeah.
get a plant, and you get a plant, and just like Thailand. Did you
agreed.
see that? That Thailand's giving away 1 million plants. Did you see that?
That's really that's a great idea. I mean, that's just
Fucking beautiful.
such a great idea. And I'm sure a bag of cannabis is not very expensive in Thailand to begin with. However, the fact that people will be allowed to openly grow it in their gardens, and it's being encouraged by
Right.
the government,
Yeah.
that is a good thing. So it's, I think, as far as tourism goes, if money wasn't an issue, if I could spend 2 weeks in Thailand at Phuket, right, instead of like 2 weeks in Mexico, in the Yucatan Peninsula, fuck, I would go to Thailand if I could smoke weed all the time, right, and not have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Once I get into the country, I could go to the beach. So I would think that, like in the south of France and in Mexico and also in the Caribbean, in the Caribbean and those islands in the Caribbean, I would think that they would be big time advocates for decriminalizing and legalizing cannabis.
Yeah.
Like in Jamaica, can you imagine how if it was just really? I know tourists always smoke cannabis in those places anyway.
Yeah.
But I mean, it just would be more inviting if it was legal.
Yeah, if you had a
There were a
shop
lot of
that you could
legal-
go to and get your stuff instead of having to find it somewhere on the black market, it's way more inviting, of course. But in Thailand, if you get the chance to go there for 2 weeks, you really want to stay for 2 months. Don't want to go for 2 weeks. You want to go for 2 months at least. Trust me.
And then 2 months becomes 4 months. And then
If
4
you're
months
lucky,
becomes a 2-week discussion.
if you're
a 2
lucky,
weeks discussion about whether or not to go there. Yeah. Well, we can only dream of spending 6 months in Thailand. It could happen.
I'm just saying, if you go there for 2 weeks, you don't get the real experience because you're still on Western culture time. So you're not you're not slowed down or speeded up or actually experiencing Thailand so much because you're still got the wound up pent up stuff. But if you go for about 5 weeks or 6 weeks, that a lot of that drops off, and you're able to actually kind of feel the ground, the local, you know.
Were there when you lived in Hawaii, Mike? There were no venomous snakes, right, in Maui when you lived there?
No, they have
No venomous snakes.
They have mongoose there. They brought in There was a snake problem when they first started inhabiting the islands, and they brought in mongoose, and they killed all the snakes. There's no
Oh, that's too
snakes
bad.
except for one really teeny tiny tree snake.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. And sea snakes, there probably are sea snakes.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't experience anything like that. I saw octopus. I saw dolphin. I saw lots of fish. But I didn't see sea snakes in particular. I don't think. I might have.
Mm-hmm. Southeast Asia sounds very nice, but it sounds kind of snaky to me. So, venomous snakes they're I don't know.
India.
I guess it's something you just do.
India, 10,000 people a year die from cobra bites.
Yeah, I like to wander off in the brush off the trail. I mean, it's just I don't know. I guess people do it. That's where billions and billions of people live there, so people manage it. But anyway, something I'm always curious about: venomous snakes.
I don't know.
All right, have a good night, Mike. I'll talk to you another night. Peace.
All right, talk to you later. Good to hear from you. And that's our buddy Chris from Olympia. I don't know about you, but I am so thirsty right now. So apparently I have been talking for 3 hours, and we didn't play a video or take a break or nothing. So I'm ready for some beverage. So I give you another minute or two to call. I really just wanted to come out tonight and talk about, I didn't want to talk about the politics of it all. I want to talk about that it doesn't seem right that the politics are immediately pushed, and I don't know if me saying it's not the right, it's not the left, it's both of them. They work together to make these things happen. I don't know if that's politics or not. But you know how I feel about the right and left. They're the same fucking thing. It really, to me, is a problem with these people that aren't doing their job. The ones that say, oh, here's one that slipped through the cracks. Your job, we see the FBI setting up kidnapping plots in Michigan. Michigan. But they don't have time to catch shooters. What's up, caller?
Oh my God, Michael, this is Steve motherfucking McClanahan. I swear to God, that fucking last caller, Michael, he tried to call me out in the very beginning of the fucking show, trying to act like he did not understand what the fuck I was trying to say. Currently, at that fucking moment, acting like nobody can hear what the fuck I'm saying. I absolutely know that you can hear me right now because I have the best fucking voice out here on the fucking radio currently, ladies and gentlemen. And to that last caller, Michael, who fucking tried to call me out in the fucking beginning, I'm telling you what, dude, I'm not fucking putting up with this bullshit. Okay? I'm not putting up with these fucking callers trying to fucking call out and say that they can't fucking hear me. Because I know they fucking hear me.
She's a bitch, right?
I know they fucking hear me, Michael.
Right?
Yeah.
She's a bitch.
I think.
Right?
I think they hear you.
She's a bitch.
Maybe.
Do you fucking hear me, caller? I swear to God, all of you callers, everyone in the chat right now, I will fucking list off your names right now. There is fucking some dude that loves Rooster Booster. Fucking, there's some fucking, dude, there's not a lot of people there. Patrick's there. Patrick is, and then there's some fucking idiot named Dr. Whisper there. That guy is definitely a fucking idiot. And some fucking other people there. I can't believe you deal with so much trolls. I can't even believe that you deal with so many fucking trolls. Especially from the...
I've been doing it a long
mainstream.
time. It's not that difficult.
I mean, especially because of the mainstream media trolls. How can you, like, deal with fucking trolls? This is fucking unfucking believable. You know your last caller, that last caller, I believe his name was Chris or something. I don't, like, Kristen, like, or Christian.
Uh-huh.
I don't fucking know. He definitely is a troll. You know why? Do you want me to tell you why he's a fucking troll?
Why?
Because I fucking said he's a troll. That's all you have to do. All you have to do is just get in the fucking chat, or you have to get in the fucking comment section, or you just have to say the fucking word. You just have to say troll. That motherfucker's a troll. Okay? And then boom, bing, bang, boom, he's a troll. And that's it. Sorry, bro. Now you're just a troll. Because nobody heard what anything you fucking said. That last caller guy, son of a bitch. You hear me, motherfucker? I swear to God, these people do not understand what the fuck is going on in the earth. They don't. They don't even hear you. They don't hear you. They don't hear me. Nobody's listening. Nobody can fucking speak properly. It sounds like fucking... And that's what everybody's conversation sounds like, currently.
Yeah, I know,
They're all
I know.
like a
Yeah,
fucking-
I know, I know.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, no.
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
no.
know.
Yeah, no.
I know.
Yeah, no.
I know.
No.
Yeah.
It's, which one is it? Is it yes or no?
Yeah, I know.
No, this is fucking...
Yeah.
Okay, see, this is ridiculous. Okay, literally. Public service announcement number 2. Folks, literally, take a look at your fucking behavior and get your fucking shit together. Fucking start having a positive attitude. And literally teach a fucking gun safety and not fucking gangster rap music. And not abortion. I think, and then not legalizing all drugs. I think we'll be okay after that.
That's how it is now.
Oh, that's how it is now?
Isn't it?
No, it's not. But they're trying to make it that way.
Well, that's
I'm
what
just saying,
America is
it's
all
like-
about. Trying to make it that way you think it should be.
Do not, honestly, just legalize all fucking drugs. And the police, okay?
Right.
Fucking
Let the police do
$40
something
billion.
important. Let the police do something important, and let the fucking people do whatever it is that they're gonna do. Okay?
Let's just let everybody just do whatever the fuck they want to do.
Yeah. There you go.
Yes, that sounds great.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Doesn't that sound great?
Sounds
I mean, you
awesome.
don't own shit.
That
You
sounds
don't own
awesome.
shit. You don't own shit.
I don't
You
own
fucking
shit.
pump gas. I don't own shit either. I'm like, I don't own shit, so like fucking, why should I fucking care? That's exactly how I feel. Like, why should I fucking care?
Why
About
should I
anyone.
care? Nothing bad
Why the
ever
fuck
happens
should
to
I
me.
fucking care about any?
Nothing
Nobody
bad
gives a
ever
fuck
happens
about
to me.
anything.
Why
Nobody
should I
fucking gives a fuck
care?
about anything, but they do act like they care. And so that is one of the problems that I fucking realized. It was like, let's let's take the safety out of gun safety. And let's just fucking, like, let's teach kids how to have butt sex. I mean, like,
This
I
is
feel
something.
like
This
that
is something you think
not-
about a lot. Teaching kids how to have butt
No.
sex.
No, it's actually out there on the internet, a massive amount, and there's all these kind of people that are fucking doing this type of behavior that are getting busted by the police department, the people that you think that we should end, and you think I
just said the police should take
have
care
a
of
problem.
important things, not social issues.
The police should not be looking for like the most fucked up people on the face of the earth.
Personal
You
drug
think
use.
they're-
Personal drug use. No, the police should not be looking for people who might be using drugs. Now, if they're selling drugs, you may have an argument. But if we ended the black market, then we wouldn't have to worry about the people selling drugs because they'd be in the store.
So, what I'm saying is,
And you can't
Legalize
take a
all
TV
drugs.
can't take a TV into the store and trade it for drugs. Go ahead.
to just legalize all drugs, okay? Because, you know, since they didn't legalize drugs, all the methamphetamines and all the fucking fentanyls and stuff, that they're all the overdoses that have happened, if they actually had like an actual party store with all the federal government's laws that were just completely supporting all these new drugs at the fucking store, that we could sell it there. The overdoses would completely be eliminated, and then we passed an exclusive
I'm not saying that overdoses would be eliminated.
dude,
what
like,
I'm
we
saying,
have to
what
pass-
I'm saying is
we have
that
to
when
pass
people
an
went to
infrastructure.
when people
We
went
have
to get their
pass an
shit,
infrastructure. We have
when
to
people
lower
went
gas
to get
prices.
their shit, they would
Dude,
they
we-
would know
when we
what
go
was
get this,
in it.
fucking get this.
Okay? They wouldn't go and get some shit off the black market and then, it's something different than what they were told. They go to the party store, they say this is the good shit, and they go, that's what I want is the good shit. And they're not going to go home and go, oh my God, this is fentanyl. It's 1,000 times stronger than what I was supposed to be getting.
Mark,
Which is what
literally,
happens
I
with the
want you
black
to tell
market.
me- I want you to tell me who gets to own the party stores. Who gets to do that? How does that work?
Well, at first we'll start off with a lottery.
Oh, we're gonna start off with a lottery. Fucking wow. Legalize all drugs, and we're gonna start off with a lottery.
Yep.
Do you not understand this?
Understand what?
The people that are allowed to sell all the legalized drugs
Yeah.
are the ones that won the lottery. What the fuck does that mean? That is insanity. What, do we really need it to be legal? Do we really need to go to a party store? Because, maybe
Yes.
the Rothschilds will fucking own this party store.
All right,
and
well,
then where everybody's
good
just
for
gonna
the
all of a
Rothschilds.
sudden-
They're already the ones selling the fucking drugs on the street, okay? They're the
They
ones
are.
who move it into the country. They're the ones who ship it out to to big distributors, and then the big distributors ship it out everywhere else.
Well, Jesus Christ.
I guess we are fucking. I mean, I just feel like we're so fucking smart that we got their whole fucking game figured out currently, right?
No, all we
Wow.
have to do, look at what I have figured out is that 50 years of drug war, 60 years of drug war has brought us nothing but opium, heroin, meth epidemic. Okay, that's what you get after 50 years of, drugs are bad, just say no to drugs. It's not
Really?
working. Yeah, it's not working. And in fact, the black
So-
market is expanding so much that we now have an epidemic of meth, an epidemic of heroin. Okay, so yeah, it's not working.
So what in fact actually happened was they were like, drugs are bad, and they were like, so they didn't encourage drugs. So they were like, drugs is bad, and then so they didn't actually open up legal like meth stores. That since they didn't open up legal meth stores, what you're saying is that there was a drug epidemic that happened.
Pretty
I totally
much,
get it.
there's a drug epidemic because it's illegal, which
You know
means
what, dude?
which means there's a
What's
massive
fucking-
amount of money to
The
be made.
hilarious part about what you're saying is that if it became legal meth stores, there would be no epidemic, no problem, because it's legal. Bitches.
Because it's legal and people would be able to get, look at it, it's how is it a problem for you that somebody goes to the store and buys whatever? How is that a problem? You want people not to let you go and buy alcohol? 10% of all deaths are alcohol related. That's worldwide. I gotta go. Thanks for calling. Yeah. Okay, and I'm not saying that alcohol and heroin are the same thing. Alcohol is probably more dangerous. But what I am saying is that clearly the drug war has not made our streets safer. Now has it? And from what I understand, the statistics is that 80% of crime is drug related. So you legalize drugs, and the next thing you know, crime goes down. Police are able to focus on, real crime, which is now so much less that they're probably going to be able to end a huge amount of that, huge percentage of that. But not only that, then we have all this money that can help people that do have a problem, and their problem wouldn't be something that had to be hidden in the dark. They could be like, and if you're buying meth or whatever it is you're buying, they put it has to go into a bag because that's what the law is. You go to the cannabis store, it has to go in a bag. That's the law. So they put it in a bag and they put a little card that says, "Are you having substance abuse problems? Call here. We can help." And that's all there is to it. And so many people, they want to stop. So many people want to stop, but there's no one there to help them. All they see is, like this same place, where there's like, these people and those people and those people, and pretty much half of them do meth, A couple of them are dealers, so it's not that easy. Now, if there's somebody saying, if you go to the party store, you don't have to run in these circles of people that are like, on the street, criminals, or not even necessarily on the street, but they're doing something illegal. You don't have to be like that. You can be, doing your thing. And if you have a problem, it will become obvious because you're not able to handle your thing, and we're making that clear to you, and you probably need to get it under control. Here is help for you. Please go get help. And then if you get busted again not being able to handle your thing, then the help becomes mandatory, this kind of stuff. But if people are doing their thing and they're not bothering anybody else, and it's not illegal, which means it's not funding all this crime, right? We end what, 50% of crime in our country? Can you imagine? Like right now, they talk about there being this epidemic of crime on the streets everywhere we turn. Okay, let's end 50% of that right now by legalizing all drugs. Because that's what the statistics say will happen. That crime, a huge percent of crime is just going to end. So, if you really care, you have to look at some alternative to what's been failing for decades and decades and generations. Because we're letting down the generations as we continue down this same fucking failed path. Okay? I'm done. There's no callers. My name's Mike. This is my YouTube page, Mox News. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's always better when you're here. Please never forget. We do this every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Nope. That's not it. We do this every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific time, which means we'll be back tomorrow. Same Mox time, same Mox channel. And until then, stay cool, because it's just a lot easier than being all fucking aggro, Hope I see you tomorrow.
Sometimes life can be a little overwhelming. Sometimes the weight of the world can be too much to bear. Sometimes you need to stop worrying and take a deep breath. Sometimes you need cannabis. Introducing Brightside, high-quality cannabis delivered right to your door. Brightside offers an extensive menu of strains and products to meet your needs. Choose the experience you want, and we'll send you the dankest herb, the real sticky icky, some top-shelf marijuana. If you like what we send you, keep the whole jar. We'll even include some nugs for you to blaze. As part of Discovery, you'll get to try new strains and products. Side effects may include euphoria, increased appetite, uncontrollable giggles, elevated sensitivity to musical dopeness, and reduced anxiety. Tetrahydrocannabinol may also induce feelings of existential well-being and relentless optimism. With a Brightside subscription, you can get it once a month, once a week, or whenever you want, all at a price you'll like. And yes, this is a real company.
Do you know who I am? You're the wizard.
Ask your doctor if cannabis is right for you. It probably is. Keep it Brightside.
No matter which mouth you feed on a two-headed snake, it still shits the same turd. But lucky for you, you have Mox News. More than 10 years. More than 60,000 videos. Mox News has been filtering the nonsense and illuminating the bullshit from your mainstream media. Turn off your TV and turn on to Mox News. For over a decade, documenting the socio-political events that have etched and carved the pathways that define today's modern mess, Mox News has been providing clarity while faithfully bringing you today's relevant stories 100% commercial-free and subscription-free. And just like Lady Liberty vows to remain free. But at this time, we're asking you for your help, your patronage, and your support to keep the lights on and the videos rolling. For less than 17 cents per day, you can become a basic subscriber, knowing that your donation is truly making a difference that will help continue bringing the news stories that make a difference in your life. Turn on, tune in, and drop a couple dimes today by clicking the link below or visiting moxnews.com and show your support at any level. From a single one-time donation or dedicated monthly subscriber, do it now in less than 2 minutes. All donations are safe, securely processed, and verified using PayPal, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, or Discover Card. As always, we're sure you'll find something of interest each and every day. This holiday season, give the gift of Mox. MoxNews.com.
I mean, this coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other, they stay united. I wish the coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other, they stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other, they stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other, they stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other, they stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other, they stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other, they stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other, they stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other, they stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other, they stay united. Coalition of misfits.